Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Wednesday Night Live. I had the YouTube channel on, so I was hearing it twice. Tom, I'll put the drugs down because I thought I was getting a little freaky there. But what are you doing, Bug Eyes? First off, let's start off by everybody just saying hello to everybody in chat. Thank you for always being there. It's always fun seeing you guys come early, and we get to chat with you guys. We're going to do a little bit more of that from now on, guys. I think it's fun having them jump in early, and we can give them a little hell.
It's getting carpal.
Let's see here. I don't know if I should share this fact, but it's just funny. I've been doing the show for a few years now, and I do like two other shows, and I still get nervous. I mean, Tim, Brian, you guys get nervous before the show still at all, or you guys don't care? Tom doesn't give a
it's like
shit.
family, man. Like it's like showing up for the dinner for the week or whatever. So.
Yeah,
I don't get nervous at all anymore.
I think it's just the pre-show jitters because after a few minutes when we get started talking and everything, I kind of relax a little bit. But I still get nervous. I still write. You guys know I still write everything down, and I still get nervous to the point where I misread what I'm supposed to be seeing on there.
Look at the company we keep in chat. Like, how can you not feel comfortable logging into all these beautiful people every week?
I love these guys. All of them. Let's see here. Tonight's show is about why we're here. So I thought it was kind of cool. We shared a little bit of why we do this show, why I started this show, why I picked the guys that I have on this show, and
we were the only ones that would work for free.
Yeah, it was working for free.
True.
But let's see, Tom and Tim, Brian, not so much. I think he came in the latter end of the show. We kind of went from 100% true vapor show to like maybe 20% vapor and 80% jokes and bullshit and videos and stuff like that to where we're at today. And I have a lot to thank these guys right here for putting this show together. Nobody does the news better than Tim. Nobody. I don't care. I'm going to say it right now. If I had to pick between Tim and Nick Green, I'm picking Tim. I'm just sorry. Tim's the man. And, just blow it up. Let it out, Tim.
My head might not fit in the screen. You keep talking like that. I was getting ready to say that the three of us are the Gorilla Glue that John puts in his hair. That's exactly what we are.
Yeah, we are. I mean, I love it. Tim, I saw a guy the other day and I'm sure we all had a friend that was like this, but he literally walked like this with his arms back and his chest forward. And I haven't seen that.
Was he blurry like me too?
He was a little guy, and he was just, he walked like this, and I was just like, so you can pump your chest out. I'm happy. There's nobody. I can't think of anybody else to do the news at all.
Thank you. I embrace the role. I love delivering the news to everybody in the chat, even if I lose you in the process. I'm like a soap opera. You just come back the next week and you just pick right back up where we left off.
What do you guys think? I mean, he's the only guy that can give us bad news, and we don't want to kill him, huh, Brian?
Well, no. He gives us bad news. I still want to kill him.
You still want to kill him?
I mean, I'm still going to kill him.
The check's in the mail, Brian. Call that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I just have to drive to Tom's house, and then we can get our trajectory right, and then we can just shoot his house. It's fine. Not a big deal.
An internet death is a very slow one. Very slow, very painful.
Yeah, Tim doesn't want to be part of the woke culture.
The only woke mob I want to be part of is the one that happens in the morning when I get up and have my coffee. That's the only woke mob I care to be part of. Good gravy. Look, it's Nick Orlando who got the link.
Nick was the only one that did get the link. Nick, I forgot to send them the link. They're all sitting in the back going, hey, where's the link?
And we waited until like 5 minutes before showtime.
Yeah.
He was truly just going to make this like a Nick and John show.
Yeah.
Scrambling.
Yeah. Hey, that does sound good. The Nick and John. No, I'm kidding. There's nobody.
How quickly we pissed them off.
Yeah, no.
Looks like we're out of a job. See you guys later.
See ya.
No. No going nowhere. Like I said, no one works harder than this guy right here, Nick, and keeping this industry going. We are always happy to have. I know. You can pump your chest out too. Pump that chest
Come
out.
on.
You do, and
Come on.
and you're successful. That's
Yeah,
the
come
key
on.
thing. You're successful at it.
Come
Nick's
on.
okay.
Yeah, he's all right. He's all right.
okay.
See,
He's
and that's
right.
the
All right.
best part about this show, hands down, is that it's a no ego show.
No
It
egos.
legit is a no ego show. Like, we don't bring on
This-
anybody who has an agenda or a well. Okay, sorry, Brian, you got a bit of an ego. Sorry, I take
Love
it.
it.
Yeah, Brian's ego. Woo.
Huge.
Thing with me
No,
is,
it really it is. It's a non-ego show. Like, we don't have anything to prove. We're just people in the community. People,
That's
consumer
it.
advocates.
All right, which one of
I'm
you
the
just?
guy that
wait,
volunteers, but
Yeah,
everybody
that's
else does the work. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys did the work
yeah.
for that
Wait.
SB 810 and
You
and
still
1080 and all that stuff.
we
I mean,
still
come
need
on.
the guy at the top to send the flock the right direction. That is an important thing, and sending the people in the right direction and the direction that's going to get the job done is important. It's always important. What is an army without a general? Just a bunch of guys running around with guns. All right, let me get down to this. On tonight's show, you see our special guest Nick is on here. He's going to share his reason why he does what he does, why it's important to him. And I guess, and Nick is also I think Nick is the official most returned guest ever on the show. I think you own that. You own that spot. That's yours.
You are the
And
king.
you are the king. And we got Tim, of course, is going to bring us the news and advocacy. Tom has graced his presence tonight, and he's going to tell us what's cheesing him off, which should be good.
It's a good list.
Yeah, we've got the product review, not product unboxing of the LUXE Q. What else have we got going on tonight? That's it. But before we get that started, I have something I want to get out there. And so people, I know we say this all the time, but I want to make sure everybody understands this. Nobody on this panel, Tim, Tom, Brian, or myself work for ZampleBox. We are not part of the ZampleBox company. We're not contracted out by ZampleBox. They allowed us to have this platform, and we appreciate them letting us have this platform, having their following and everything, so we can share our message. Tony, the owner of this company, liked what he saw and asked us to come bring this show to ZampleBox because he appreciated the hard work and what we put into this show every week. And ZampleBox has always been about the community, and that's what this show is about. It's about the community. So please, guys, keep that in mind. We can't help you with a box. We can't refund you money. We can't tell you where you're shipping. None of that, guys. We're just four guys that have ZampleBoxes and found each other on ZampleBox. So that's about it. So just everybody keep that in mind. Let's do our lows. The guy in the middle, the news anchor of the team, Tim, how you doing?
I'm fine. I wasn't prepared to be called on first. Sorry,
You're in the spot.
Horns up, Nick. Yeah, you caught me off guard. I have a little bit of a tongue tie. No, I'm fine.
You're
doing
never
well.
tongue-tied. You're
I'm
never
tongue-tied.
tongue-tied.
I'm
You
doing
never-
well. It's business as usual. Just plodding through life, vaping and working on websites and hunting down advocacy articles for people here on the show. So I mean, I can't complain, right?
Yeah.
I'm alive. I'm well. I'm COVID free. What else? I got long hair. Oh shit, that's pretty obvious. Okay, never mind.
Are you going to bring us?
Methodically challenged?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I'm basically anyone here on the show's hair farm.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm starting with Nick.
Hey, I got rights to your hair, so I bought the right. If I need some extra hair, that's where I'm going. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Tom,
Yo.
I'm glad you're here today. We kind of missed you last week. I think even your fans missed you.
Don't bullshit. I know better. I peeked in. You guys didn't miss me one bit. Come on now.
I missed you.
Oh,
Nick
thanks,
missed you.
I said, "Where's Tom?"
Yeah,
I
where's
said,
Tom?
"Where is Tom?"
Yeah, that was the first thing that came out on the thing. Where's Tom? Tom's not here.
I was dealing with about 25 to 30,000 drunk people.
Fun.
No.
Did you
Personal
get
guess? Personal guess?
No.
to tase anybody?
No, I wanted
God
to.
damn it! Nothing better than watching a drunk guy get tased and pee their pants.
Oh, I know. I didn't even see any of the cops that were working there tase anybody. It was sad.
Pretty
And our
uneventful.
special guest, Mr. Nick. How are you doing, buddy?
Tremendous, man. How you guys
Tremendous.
doing?
Nick lives in one of the cities that's super excited. I mean, you guys are just one sport away from doing the trifecta in sports,
Right?
but it's not happening.
No. No, but two will work.
two out of the four is pretty big. It's pretty big.
Well,
Pretty big.
wait a minute now. The Rowdies.
Well, you still
with
got a
that
shot.
much
You still got a shot at baseball. You still got a shot at
Yeah.
baseball. You could win 3 out of 4. That's pretty friggin' awesome for a state.
Yep.
And
Well, we
the
do
guy,
agree.
and the guy that likes to show up 1 second before the show starts, Mr. Brian Power. How you doing,
Yeah,
Brian?
that was pretty great. I actually got here on time today. That was a good one. I'm actually doing pretty good. I actually went around to the fair that was today and had a good time out and about today. So that was a good time. I found
Did you
a
tase
little
anybody?
thing- No, I didn't. I'm gonna share a screen real quick, John. I found a little thing I had to get something to eat. So
God,
I,
that's
I,
hard.
I ate
Good
a,
Lord,
Yeah.
that is Mecca right
Yes.
there. Is that not Mecca?
yeah, I ate a few things.
What'd you have?
God.
I had a bacon wrapped hot dog, and there's bacon fries, and then I did try the cheese curds that were there too. Yeah, so yeah, that was
What's up, Vape
that was pretty
Lord?
fun.
Hey, good.
So yeah, that was my
Yeah.
day. I'm pretty
That's-
full.
That's a fucking heart attack waiting to happen
Yeah.
right there for me.
I'm
man.
all in. I'm all in. How do I get there? How do I
I'm
get
there
there?
for it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I got all my food. I sat down. I'm like, this is a bad idea, and I just kept eating.
Good
God.
God, that just looks. That's amazing. I want one in my backyard. How do I get one
Right.
of those?
Right?
Right?
I literally cannot think of a single thing food wise that I wouldn't eat that was wrapped in bacon. That's all I'm saying. Just wrapped and fried in bacon, I'll eat it. Even
I would have
broccoli.
just asked for a couple extra, strips, and then gone right next door to the ice cream joint and just jammed them in there too.
Right?
You know?
What the hell?
Yeah.
That is probably in where's
It
that?
was-
The fair?
Yeah, it was at our fair that we had. It goes on
Nice.
for like 2 weeks. It's usually about a week long. This year decided to do 2 weeks because of COVID last year. So, and today was free admission for 2 hours. So I went there with the kiddo and the grandma, and we all went and ate, had ice cream, had food, cheese curds, went on some rides with kiddo. So yeah, it
Nice.
was a good time. And now she's conked out for the night. So
Oh hell yeah! Fairs are great for knocking kids out, man.
right.
Unless you're stupid in the last half hour, you just sugar them up. That's where you make the
Right.
mistake. That's where you make
Right. Yeah, they had all sorts of different food booths there and all that stuff, but that one was right next to another barbecue one. So I'm like, well, this is
nice.
decisions are going to be made here. So
Some
I
bad-
made some.
They're not bad decisions. Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty fun. You know, they had like it wasn't a petting zoo, but it was like a 4-H had their little walkthrough of like farm animals and stuff.
Oh,
so.
nice.
Did you
Let's
get
get
to
all
pick your
ducks
own
and chicken.
bacon? Do you get to pick your own bacon?
Well, see, here's the thing: is that like that was right by the whole thing
That's
to
so
see
wrong.
the pigs at.
That's so
And they actually
wrong.
had piglets there and stuff, and I'm like, I kind of looked around, and I'm like,
That is so wrong, dude. They have live pigs right next to that booth, dude.
I don't know what goes on at fairs in North Dakota. I
I'd
had to ask. I feel like it's a totally different world. You know, what I
I'd
mean?
start like
It really
thinking.
is.
I just start thinking like, why is that guy pulling that pig out of the pen there? Where's he going with that pig? And he just goes behind that. that-
Two ladies get into a scrap in the parking lot because they saw that one piglet first. I get it.
oh man.
but there was they actually have a dirt track that they use for sprint cars and stuff there.
Nice.
And they actually have bands that go there and play during the time at night.
Nice.
And beer gardens and stuff like that. They have Kicks, and they have Skillet
Kicks
was
played
there.
That's right,
I
Luke.
believe so. I'm gonna double check.
Wow. What's the name of this? What's the name of this festival
Do you
slash fair?
feed bacon to
No,
the
no, 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 no. I'm asking for a reference for my boys here in town. People might enjoy a Journey tribute. Who knows?
What's up,
What
Captain Nasty?
I'll send you the link.
Up,
here.
Captain?
Yeah, send me the link, and I want to look it up.
So you can see all the events. There's
Yeah,
there's
send
actually a
him
whole
the
bunch. There's
link.
monster
Send him the
trucks.
link.
There's Skilla, Chris Young, Sticks is what it was, not Sticks. Hardy,
The actual Sticks played.
Rat, Quiet Riot, and Kicks.
Oh yeah,
were there. are
Sticks.
Wow.
They got off their
And,
wheelchairs and got on
yeah.
stage, Tim.
there. And then Trace Atkins is there too. So
Kicks.
Kicks, yeah.
Kicks.
Kicks
The
from
Kicks.
from Baltimore.
Kicks.
Baltimore.
So-
Ball.
So yeah, that was a little fun day, and now I had to get beer and come here, and I was actually on time by like 30 seconds, so 10 seconds.
This is a
So
real change.
I'm proud of myself. Yeah, I know,
Look at that.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's up, Captain Nasty?
Captain Nasty.
Captain Nasty.
I like that. I like that username. Flex
like doing a show?
Marzipan. Yeah.
Chris and Ian are on vacation.
Right?
Yeah, they're on
Captain
permanent
Nasty.
vacation.
Captain Nasty should be on. He just finished up on Vapor.
They
Radio.
might just finish
Yeah,
up. But
yeah. He was on the radio today, so
well,
He's
let's
the
get
Cloud Queen.
Cloud Queen. Yes,
she was on here.
Yeah, she's been. Yeah. Well, let's get started. Like most of us in this community, we watched a ton of vape video reviews. I did it myself, sometimes dedicating way too many fucking hours of my life on just one single product. It was funny because I started like looking back when I was thinking about this show and thinking about the hours that I would spend just looking up one device and going from, Phil's page to Grimm's page to Mike's page to Mark's page to DJ LSB Vape's page, and just trying to figure out, what I was going to buy if I was going to buy something. But it was funny because like going through that and remembering all those times, one thing that I noticed a lot of the shows didn't have was the community aspect of it. And it was always about the product. There are a couple shows that are out there that are, they add maybe 10 or 15% of the show about the community or what's going on in the industry. Grimm does a whole show, probably it's 2 hours, right? Grimm's show's 2 hours, and it's pretty much a little bit of mix of everything. But I like when I started this show, I wanted something that was part of the ZampleBox community, and the show started out on the ZampleBox page, and it was just Tim, Tom, and Mike, and Madison, Amanda, and we had a great time. It was fun, and it kind of shifted to a comedy show, and then shifted back to a vape show, and shifted back. It was back and forth, comedy vape, and then we're here where we're at today. And one of the reasons I started this page is because I didn't see that community aspect on any of the other pages. It wasn't about us. It wasn't about what we needed to know to keep this industry alive. It basically was about products and self-promotion, which is fine. That's what you have to do on your channel. But this channel is about our community and this industry and trying to save it. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this show. And this is one of the reasons I picked these guys here, because each one of these guys have something special in what they do. Brian has been in the industry for a long time. He's sold product. He has his own website. Tom, I don't know why. Why did I pick Tom?
Because I had nothing else to do on Wednesday nights.
No. Tom, I think was in the beginning was supposed to be the enforcer.
What exactly does that mean?
We failed at that.
Are we a mafioso kind of?
Yeah, it was
organization?
he was the consigliere. He was the
Tom's the
consigliere.
heavy? Is that what
Yeah,
it
he
is?
was the consigliere.
Hey, was that a fat joke?
No, that was not. No. Yeah, Tom's the guy
Absolutely
that
a
said,
fat joke.
"Leave the gun, take the cannoli." Say it, Tom.
No.
No.
Tom, I led with the bacon, so I'm going to be taking the fat jokes for the night. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the biggest issue for me, is I wanted a show that was about us, the community, people sharing their stories, sharing their how they got to get off of cigarettes, what their tricks that they used, stuff like that, and then also help people find these KASA links. A lot of times, a lot of these pages is sad. Some of these Facebook group pages now have banned these links on their page completely, and it's just, to me, it's crazy, that you're going to ban posting a link from KASA to go help out our industry because they're tired of the fighting back and forth and people yelling and screaming at each other and not doing their part. It is insane. So I'm glad that we're doing this. I'm glad I have these guys with me, and we're going to start with Nick there. Nick's going to share why he does what he does. What got you? Because you had a whole different career altogether before you got into vaping.
I think everybody had a different career, right?
Well, yeah, but yeah.
So, I mean, what got me was it got me off combustible tobacco. And then, I opened up a retail store and kept my day job. And as time went on, I started realizing that there was a need for this, right? So people started coming in the store. And then I thought, man, if this was around for some of my family members, and I say that, but let's think about it for a moment. Everybody knows everybody affected by the tobacco-related illness idea, right? I mean, I don't think anybody in this world doesn't know anybody who was affected by tobacco-related illness. So I started thinking, and my wife never smoked or vaped, but she had definitely been affected by it. She's lost family members. I mean, she's from Kentucky, so big tobacco industry with Laura Lard and those guys. A lot of them work there. And we got to thinking, not only help our community, but help other communities, and then obviously help the people we don't know and generations that we don't know yet, right? People that are not even born yet. And it seems kind of a big thing, but it was our mindset going into this. By store 2, stopped working my day job and started doing this full time. 2014, started with the state trade associations. We got involved. And as we got deeper and deeper involved, things became, there were little battles at first, but then they became big battles. And, and we've constantly fought with those because of our belief and our passion for the product. So that's it in a broad stroke. A lot of people already know that, I own 5 stores, e-liquid company with some partners. And we just try to set out and you kind of weigh it out. There comes a time in your life, and some of you may have been there or haven't yet, but what's important, right? There's a point you realize, you're not going to be a millionaire and sit back on a boat all day. So you want to just pay the bills, put food on the table, employ people, and do something positive and leave that as your footprint before you leave, right? And that light bulb went off, and thankfully I was in this industry and part of it at the time that happened, and it was at the very beginning, but I think we realized we're not going to be millionaires and retire on that boat because there'll always be little battles until the day I die, and we're going to keep fighting for this industry and this technology to keep it around for future generations, and that's kind of the reality of it. I mean, we gotta do something positive, and I think we can make our impact here, and this is kind of where I'm put right now, so that's why we do what we do.
Yeah. I mean, it's different, for any product that's out there, everyone has a fan base, but it seems like for me, it's a different experience with a vapor. When you walk into a store, you see the customer owner interactions between each other. It's not like the same thing you would get when you walk into Target to go buy something, or even if you go to a car lot to buy a car. It's a different experience each time watching each person, and for me, it's seeing each customer. Like just the other day, it's just. That lady literally wanted to get over on the other side of the counter and just hug him. And you could just see how glad she was. 35 years this lady smoked. 35 years. And she went through the whole thing. She's like, I've tried patches, I've tried gums. And, she's like, she named some things that I've never heard of, and little tricks. And it's just like, and she's 6 months into it. And she hasn't touched a cigarette in 6 months. And
So,
she could, go ahead.
Tag on that. I mean, let's be honest. can you put a price tag on that response?
No.
And we in vape shops see that, and I used to see it all the time when I was behind the counter, and I still see it when I do go behind the counter, and I see people that we have started out on their journey years ago, that have come back and still either are using the product or bringing people in to start using the product and start that journey. But you can't put a price tag on that stuff.
No, man. It was funny because she's like, dude, if there wasn't, she just, she's an older lady. She's like, if there wasn't COVID, I'd jump on the other side of this counter and give you a hug. I was just like looking over, go for it. Who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you don't see that in anything else. I mean, I've bought a car from the same guy for the last 20 years. He's been a salesman. I've never hugged him.
Right.
I'm not saying he's screwed me over or he's given me such a great deal that I wanted to hug him, but it's just like you don't see that. You don't see the passion that the customer has for and how lucky they feel that they have a product that's finally fucking working.
Yeah, well, I think there's a key difference. I mean, I'm not trying to make a parallel to what your example. But what I'm saying is, like Nick was saying, you can't put a price on it because without it's sort of an unwritten kind of thing. It's an unsaid element to it all. And the fact is that if you can at least convince one person to start that journey, if you can get more, great. But when you really step back and you take a moment and assess it, it may take a while for that other person to click, but you both kind of recognize that you saved a life in the process. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not really openly said like, oh, thanks for saving my life. Not like a fireman rescuing somebody from a burning building, but effectively, like, when you get that person turned around and out the door, if it's successful, if they stick with it, you theoretically just saved a life. And then that person 6 months down the road, they're going to be like, oh, my God, I've been sitting here vaping on this, cherry cola ice flavor for the last 6 months, and I haven't picked up a cigarette. Yeah. That dude helped save my life, and it's that realization, and that's what makes it unique, I think, in the broader aspect of what's going on, and that's the success story in it all.
It is. When they come back and share it with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and they bring their friends in and share it with you in front of them, and it's still cool. I mean, the community's still there. It's just we have to do a better job of keeping them in the loop.
Yeah, yeah, and that was the thing with her. She's been coming in. I was talking to the owner, and he's like, no, she comes in every 2 weeks. She gets her stuff. She's starting. He said to me, she's just starting to look around at other devices. You could see that she wants to take that next step from she actually bought, what is that? I can't remember the name of it. Damn it! It's not VAPORESSO. The Nord.
Smoke. Nord.
Yeah. And she's just like ready. She's like, I want to take that next step, and she's looking at tanks and devices. And I was like, that's cool because that helped me. That's what made me continue moving forward is just, taking the next journey, the next device, an RDA, building coils, taking that next step each time. Yep. Brian Power.
Yes.
I got the power.
So with me, like I don't know, I'm a little different. Like I said, I joined in the show like towards the end of kind of like the rebuild per se. But for me, it's been more of like I just want to keep in touch with everybody and keep helping people as much as I can. Keep sharing stories. Keep seeing what we can do to talk to other people. That's my whole thing. I just want to keep being involved. Like the prior to that was I worked in vape shops before. Like Nick was saying, I've helped people from who were just starting to older ladies who were came in there, and older guys who would buy the simplest things, but that little smile on their face when they would come in, you'd help them. Like it was, those little things were, like the best things. If, I was able to help make their day, like that was just it, I mean, to me, like that's what they wanted, and they knew their friends, they would talk to them about it, but it wasn't like their fight per se, but it was more of, they knew it was helping them, and if they could help somebody else, that was, that was the thing. So, I mean, those things right there was really helpful. And then I found a community of people that we all want to have the same thing, have the same drive, and help the same people. And so I just want to keep in the community and keep helping people with everything else. So
Well said.
Well said, Brian. Tom, what are you doing here, Tom?
I'm talking to Chad.
No, I know. No. Come on, you know where I'm saying. What drives you?
Usually my car.
Oh God.
He is on with the one-liners tonight.
Yeah.
actually,
Great.
technically, you drive the car.
Yeah, thank you. That's where I was
I
going.
could have one of
Listen,
them
You don't own a
self-driving
car,
cars. You
Tom.
don't know.
The car owns you.
I know, because you don't have
Just
that in
saying.
your area.
You don't know what I have.
Send me a picture of your car.
No,
I guarantee it's not one of those.
no, it's not.
Hey, Tom is from Wisconsin, so 85% of the people in Wisconsin drive a Ford. So he's probably driving a Ford.
No. I'm pretty sure it's one of
A
those
Dodge. It's a Dodge.
one of those K Chevys.
Close. Nope, it's not a Chevy.
It's
a
a Dodge.
Chrysler.
It's a fucking Dodge. Go ahead.
Prices
All right.
don't make pickups.
No, it's not a pickup.
Yeah, it's a SUV.
Okay.
All right, fuck your car. Tell me why.
It's so easy to get you guys off topic. It's hilarious. All right. I am here for one, so I don't have to talk all that much. And to pretty much help people. That's it. I want to help people live for their kids, their grandkids, their, parents, whatever. I just want to help people. And if I can help them, switch to a healthier alternative, then I'm all for it.
And you're doing a great job in the lounge. You do a great job, Tom, in the lounge.
I
You help
try.
a lot of people. That's what I love about all these guys here. Everyone here is always helping everybody in the lounge. Tim, when Tim was added to the ZampleBox page, you couldn't stop him. He was on every single post. It was just like
60 words per minute, John.
I was just like, okay, who's this guy, Tim? What the hell? Because I'm an admin in there, and I would get every time someone comments, and I was like, Tim Swift. My whole page. I was like, Tim is the reason I had to shut the notification thing off in the ZampleBox family page.
I have a tendency to do that to people.
I was like, holy shit, who's this guy? All right, someone.
Swifty.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, well, he was competing against the other Swifty, which is known as Chris, Quick Fingers Chris.
Oh, yeah. That guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have an addictive personality. I think that's where it kind of starts with me. And I tend to kind of dive into things and get really vested in them. And so I tend to learn rather quickly, and I take on a lot of information. And even though I try to hold myself off and be like, okay, no, pace yourself, take it slow. I always kind of jokingly tell the story about how when I first started vaping, obviously I started with the cheapy little Ciga-like blue thing that didn't really do the trick. And then, you graduate into those other iterations like the Kanger tanks and all the crap that we had when we were kind of growing up through this industry. At any rate, and then you're at that point where it was like, I'm like, so I saw a couple of videos about people making their own coils, and installing them in RDAs and using mech mods, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. That's just too much work, And then less than a week later, I'm buying single gauge wire and rolling coils. So I tend to accelerate pretty quickly, and when I find something that I believe in, because it was multifaceted. Not only am I getting off of cigarettes and there's that excitement there, so I can help somebody there. I think it's the cancer in me, that zodiac cancer in me, that just has a desire to want to help people, right? I don't know that I'm ever going to work in a hospital or a veterinarian's office. I don't think I could handle all that. But my point is that I get vested in hobbies like that, and I like to transfer that knowledge and help people get from A to Z safely with the right information, without being misled along the way. I want people to have success by teaching a little bit, and I think that that's where it comes from. So, I guess that's a natural pairing for the news, right? Because it's all about, researching and getting information and passing it on. Because it's hard. It's hard to go looking for articles and read all that stuff. And
it gets you.
I can't read a damn book to save my life, but I can read the shit out of a vape article. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it gets you angry. I mean, especially when you read that stuff and you just feel like, you want to do something, but you're like, your hands are tied because you don't live in that state.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to be. That's why I gave it to you, not me. I didn't want to.
Yeah, well, and that's the other element too, is that when you become vested in something that you completely believe in and is a positive for you and can be a positive for others, and then a bunch of rat bastards try to take it away from you, you get even more fully vested, and then that drives that desire to, I don't want to sound like, I try to, come down on people for not doing the advocacy route. All I just want people to understand that their voice matters, and that if I can make you a little bit mad by delivering some bad news, and you start seeing the house of cards try to get toppled by a bunch of blathering idiots who don't know anything about the success you found, then I think it's within your best interest. So that's why I persist with that part too. So,
as far as
and I blow up people's messages.
Yeah, you do. As far as are you seeing new customers coming back in, Nick? Are they starting to flow back in a little bit?
Oh yeah. Shops picking up. Our newest location is picking up down in Inglewood, and it's kind of a remote area. It's on a key, Minnesota key. But we're really seeing some people come back in. We're seeing some of the older folks come back in that we had years ago that have, went back into cigarette smoking and came back and said, look, I need to start the journey over. Let's go. And, those kind of things is what keeps us going. Right. So we've got a lot of new people. We've got a lot of older ones coming back. And then we've got our normal clientele that have started with us since 13 that are still coming. And, we got a couple of guys that are just, it kind of made me smile when somebody was talking about somebody stepping up. I think it was you, that a lady was on vaping for 2 weeks and had made the switch, and she was looking at a new product. Yeah. We have some of these guys that come in and still have the older products, and they're like, give me the high octane, I'm good. And they go back home, and that's it. They're 70, 80 years old, and they're just rocking it. But they'll sit down and talk about, some of these younger guys about rebuilds and stuff, and they'll chop it up with them for a bit, have a cup of coffee, and go back home. Yeah. So it's a pretty cool. We still got the community thing going. It's coming back. COVID didn't affect us a whole lot. We, in Florida, we shut down our stores for 2 months. 3 of them were shut down, but then we opened right back up, and everybody was glad we were open and came right back in. And that community, the camaraderie is still there. And they're very much in the loop as to what's going on in our state. And they make the calls and make the texts and make the, tweets and send emails and stuff, whatever their platform is. But that's kind of, our people, we still got them coming in, and our employees definitely share what's going on in the state. So it helps us a little bit.
Yeah, it's got to be difficult, for even like with her, she was just like, she just sitting there. She was just so happy, and it's just awesome to see that, and I can see the joy in his face, that he's helping somebody, and he's he's doing it, he's doing something. It's hard to say, doing something you love doing, that's like something. Remember, our dads would always kind of tell, if you're going to go to work, do something you love, because then you're going to be happy every day going to work. And I bet you he's happy, and I'm sure you are as well, happy every day to going into work and helping
somebody lifted the veil, right? Yeah. I mean, somebody lifted the veil off of her eyes, and she got to see what's up with the vapor.
Yeah.
What is Tim doing? He looks like he's shaving.
I'm shaving.
I
already shaved. No, I already shaved before the show.
Damn.
I thought you were shaving.
I'm baby face.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's looking for one of those shower caps or skin toned. So he comes on next time, he's gonna have a bald head with his hair.
You guys would flip your fucking lids if I came on here bald. Like legit bald. You guys would know. There would be a jaws on the floor. Like
legit bald.
Like you guys wouldn't be able to talk for like the first 20 minutes of the show.
No, we'd all be doing this.
Is that one of those bald wigs he's got
Who is
on?
that
Is
guy?
that one of those? Yeah.
Well, first thing I would say is, what did you do with Tim? Bring him back.
You know what? I'd have to marry a very evil woman for me to be bald.
An alien.
You know, you sleep with one eye open when you have hair like this.
Yeah. If
if you came on with a shaved head, I would just say Nick's had a huge effect on you.
Fun fact: Tim is actually 97 years old.
That's true. That's very true. A lot of people don't know that about me. I remember way back when Snickers bars were a nickel and Coke was a dime, and
the bus was a nickel.
yeah, I remember those days. It was a whole different time, day, and age. We didn't have vaping back when we were little kids. We just had those good old cigarettes that they told us were great for us.
Yeah, it's kind of nice going to the store with $1 and you could get like a whole crap ton of candy.
Oh yeah, everything.
That was great.
Yeah, but you have to remember too, cost of living was relative back then.
Yeah, it was relative. Yeah,
a nickel was probably like $1.10 back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was my grandson today. None did you play I said, yeah, I played basketball in high school. He goes, I didn't know they had basketball back then. I was like, you little shit. How old do you think I am?
I didn't know they had basketball.
Yeah, that's what he said. I didn't know they had basketball back then. He's 9. I was like, you little shit. All right.
No, what they didn't have back then was shit like frisbee golf. That's what they didn't have back
we
then.
had frisbee golf.
Back then you can actually own a 4-bedroom house working as a shoe salesman. Just ask Bundy.
Yeah. 86.
That's true.
There's 86. A lot of things they didn't have back then that we have now.
Yeah, technology, a lot of technology. We
had this show.
We had Atari. Actually, they had video conferencing back in the 80s, but it was just from phone to phone, and that other person had to have that phone because my next door neighbor had it with his dad. So he had this little phone that was on the wall, and it was a black and white kind of screen, and he could see his dad, and they would talk, and it was kind of weird. Now it's late 80s. I don't know what company it was called, but it was pretty weird. What else we got? Hopefully I'm going to try to run into that lady again next time I go over to the shop, and hopefully I see her then and catch her, because I'd love for her to come on the show. I don't know if she's on Facebook or not. I didn't get all into it, but I like to hear her story, and because I would like to know what made her decide, because that's what I find intriguing. Was it another vapor? Or because we don't have advertising. It's not like we have advertising to promote our product anymore. Or did we ever really? I mean, I don't know if she's on Instagram and all the other platforms that are out there, but I'm just kind of curious how she got to where she is, because she didn't seem like somebody that, that was kind of hanging around younger people. She was a much older lady, and I just love to know how she got to that point. Because for me, it was blues. I was blues, but they had blues commercials, and they had advertising back there for blues and magazines. But I'd like to know how she got, especially any older person, how they got to that point, to walk into a shop. It's scary.
Yeah, well, you know what? I tend to feel like there's a bit of a different crowd in the older crowd, because and I'm talking like my parents' age, right? My parents are in their late 70s and stuff like that. And then, you talk to them on the phone, and they are just, I don't want to call them anti-technology, but I would just say they don't want to be bothered with technology. Do you know what I mean? Like to try to conceive all those elements of a cell phone and all this stuff just seems so complex to them. And bless their hearts, my brother and I do our damnedest to try to do that. But then you have, I had a previous neighbor that lived next door to me who was right in that same age range, and she was flying around texting her grandkids and her daughter, and she's, connected to the internet and doing all, ordering her ink cartridges for her printer online and doing all this stuff. So I think that there are a certain contingent of the older crowd that are a little bit more internet tech savvy, or at least willing to go look at things. So they probably do stumble onto that stuff going out into the interwebs, and they probably do pick up on some of the vape stuff that we would see mainstreamed through the social media platforms and things like that.
Hey, Nick, when you do get a new customer, and I know you, but what do you think about majority of this of other shops? Do you think they go into what currently is going on in the industry with a newer customer? Do you
I
think
can
that
tell
goes on?
you, just from the experiences that I have, no. It's hard to find.
Are they afraid that they
I'd
may
say the
lose the
majority,
sale? Do you
the
think they're
majority of the
afraid they're gonna?
stores,
Yeah,
well, they're just like convenience stores,
yeah,
right? A lot of shops popped up as a quick cash grab,
right.
and they put somebody behind the counter that just sells the product. I mean, I've got people stroll into the store that just bought a device from up the road, and it's a 200-watt sub-ohm device, and they're just getting off cigarettes, and it's like,
Yeah,
this isn't working for me. What's going on? So now I got to switch them to something more of a mouth to lung and an easier to use, and a quick, easy refill, and it's total conversion at that point. So I'm sorry you just wasted your money. I'll give you a great deal on this, but
yeah,
here's where you need to be. You can save that for later, and it's just kind of a reset. So no, they're not, definitely not informing them of what's going on in our fights throughout the country or the state. A lot of our shops locally, we've only got 100 members, and 40 of them are in our state. And Florida's a big state. We've got over
yeah.
1,200 vape shops. So the advocacy piece is not out there, and I think a lot of it comes from John, is where people are afraid to talk about it because it's not. First of all, they just want the buck, right? So let's face it. A lot of these shops, they got in it late. They're just like, I want to make money. Throw a kid behind the counter, sell anything you can, as quick as you can, make as much as you can, and go home for the night. Here's a bottle of juice for your efforts. Have a good day. They're not paying taxes. They're not paying, payroll. There's no, a lot of these people aren't even registered. Like when I talk to legislators and I tell them there's 1,300 shops in the state, they're like, that's funny. We've only got like 300. So
Registered.
it's like, yeah, it's like, so that's not happening. And I think they're afraid to mention it because, number one, they're not as well versed. They're not in tune with what's going on because a lot of our outside influences, whether it's on social media or shows like this, are not being viewed enough to see that, right? Like, I encourage my team to go and investigate, watch the reviews, watch the people talking about advocacy groups, know what's going on. I keep them in the loop. They know I'm very involved in it, and I share everything with them. We have Zoom calls and pull the team on and just kind of explain to them some of the things that we need to get involved in and light a fire for our customers so they understand it. But a lot of these shops don't care. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's reality. Is it?
Make the sale.
It's not cool, right? And it's not cool to talk about it. You're not vested in it. It's more like let's make money. I invested money, and that's it. And there's no passion behind it. It's just we kind of lost that, and we're starting to get it back because a lot of those shops don't last, right?
Right.
We're finding that out. But they go for the big kill of a $200 sale versus a $20 starter kit and a bottle of e-liquid to get them started on their journey and help them get off combustible tobacco. They don't even have those products in their store.
Right.
So it's a total reset, right? It kind of sucks, but I'm just being real with you here no, they're not talking about advocacy. They're not talking about the product. They're not sharing the knowledge and starting a journey with them. Whereas it's just like, hey, make a sale. They just want a vapor and get off cigarettes. So here you go. And, we need to have that journey. And that's kind of what we develop is we'll start you out and we'll move through it. If you have a problem, come back and we'll get you changed up on your nicotine or talk to you about airflow or change your device or, we're going to work through it with you. And each time we're not just going to take money from you. We're going to start you out. We're going to explain to you what's going on. If you have to get another device that is not working, we return the other one, give you a credit, move forward through this and really get you off combustible tobacco. That's kind of what we do and how we do it. And it works for us. We've seen shops open and close and we're still standing, and it's been that long through the tough times of the deeming regs to the PMTAs that are coming up to the, the CRCEs and the GCCs and everything else.
Well, KASA, they should force these hardware companies to put KASA's website right on the front of the box. Why
Can't
not?
do that because then they'd be
can't force
affiliated
them.
with the product. Yeah,
That's a
there'd
consumer.
be-
They're a consumer. They're not a. They could get away with that because they're just a consumer advocacy group. That
Yeah,
they,
but who
no, but
in
if
China
they're
is
on the
going to
box,
listen
they'd be
to that?
illegally involved with the product.
no,
But
not
there's
necessarily.
overseas, they don't care, John.
Yeah, they don't care. I mean, yeah,
Let's
that's the
face it.
problem. It's China. That cost them a couple cents more to print that out there.
Right.
No, but yeah, I mean, I always wondered how that works. I know it's like you said, a lot of these shops want to make their money, and if you start going into what's going on in the industry and in your state, that may change the guys thinking of going with the higher device and maybe just buying a little bit of. I don't know. So it just doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't do it.
It's right on down from what they're purchasing.
Yeah.
When you come into our shop as a new customer, we're talking to you about what we have on the shelf, why it's there.
Yeah.
All the manufacturers on our shelf are Florida Smoke-Free members. They're federal fight, organization members. They're actively involved in advocacy. We won't sell outside of that. And people are like, well, do you have this? No, they're not in the fight. They're not willing to put up the funds and fight with lobbyists to keep this product available for you. Therefore, we don't carry it. Now, if you want it, there's shops that have it. But here's what we're dealing with. And then they understand it. It's like, wow, that's kind of weird. I went in this shop to buy something. They didn't have it because of this, but they carry this. And they start understanding and asking questions. Next thing you know, we have coffee in our stores. So you'll hear me refer to that a lot.
Yeah.
They'll sit down and have a cup of coffee and talk about it. And they want to know. Now it's like, okay, I want to know about what's going on. And what does that mean? And what is PMTA? Now that you mentioned it, what is that?
Yeah.
The shipping thing. I can't get my stuff in the mail. What's that mean? Nobody's ever explained this to them.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, these 60-somethings, they're not on social media. They don't know what the hell's going on. They just know they can't go to some of these manufacturers where they used to buy their Sigalikes and can't get them anymore.
Right.
Nobody tells them shit. They're just like, lost. What? You're done.
Yeah.
And these people are walking in. I had one today. It's funny, we're talking about this. I had one elderly lady today, I'd say 65 years old, come in and she's talking to me about a White Cloud, okay, which is the screw-on replaceable cart. And she said they stopped shipping, so I don't know what to do. So I said, well, here's what I have available. And she's trying the product now, and she's going to let me know about it. And I gave her, the introductory price on it, just to kind of make that conversion, and hopefully it works for her. She's going to call me up or come in. And, that's the kind of thing that we have to do as stakeholders to be able to share what's going on, walk them through it, help them through it. Because let's face it, smoking cigarettes was never this hard, right?
Right.
You walk in, you buy a lighter, pack of smokes, and you're down the road. These people are willing to take the step and make it a little tougher, but they need to understand what it's about. Yeah. It's great to make a sale, but let's walk them through what this product is, when it started, how it is. It blows their mind when I tell them it's been around since 1965. They're like, huh? Like, yeah, it's been around.
Yeah. Well, Tim did an article last week, and what was the company, Tim, that was doing the little help center? Was that in England, right? The little help center?
That was the VZN or VPZ company or whatever. They have 5. Well, they're an online distributor with 5 storefronts now, and then what they did was they're introducing a sub. Well, it's not a sub. It's actually them. They're paying for it. They're setting it up. It's called Vape Clinic. And they're putting them in all of their storefronts, and it's a dedicated service counter that customers can call ahead and book a 30-minute appointment to go in and meet with someone who's specialized or has a history with vaping, that's trained to teach you the right kinds of devices and things to transition from smoking into the vaping journey. So effectively, they're just going to put focus on it. Doesn't mean that they're not still running their standard vape shop for like the customers that are more advanced are already doing that. But for the average guy who's like, man, I want to finally quit smoking, they can now book an appointment with that focused person, come in for 30 minutes. And that person asks 100 different questions, like how much were you smoking? What were you smoking? All these different elements, like where do you work? What environment are you in mostly? So they can offer the right product for that customer to help them transition. And then, Nick, on the flip side of that, they feel that it's going to be a successful program because they offer a full money back guarantee for any unopened bottle of juice, any unopened coil, or any device that if that particular product didn't work for them. So they'll give them a full money back guarantee on that product. Now, I don't know if that means they try plan B and sell them something else, like a trade-in exchange program,
Right.
or they go, well, if vaping isn't going to work for you, I mean, I don't know what their alternatives are. I didn't go into those kinds of details, but the reason why they developed that program was because due to COVID and the lockdowns, a lot of the public health service programs that were geared towards helping people quit smoking and cessate and transition to vaping, like quit smoking programs, as well as vape shops, were shut down by the COVID pandemic, which was odd to me because they're a public health environment.
Right.
So you would think that they would say, oh, vape shops are essential or those clinics are essential. But apparently they were not getting the funding that they were needing, and vape shops were closing down. So this VZN or VPZ, I just can't remember the name of the company right now. It's escaping me. They are actually backfilling that void by introducing these vape clinics into all of their storefronts. So they started with a pilot store, but they're going to push it out over the coming months to the remainder of their storefronts. And so I thought, I was like, man, why can't we have something like that? And you're not going to have every shop in the world be like, oh, yeah, hey, let's do like a vape clinic kind of setup, Well, I'll hire one guy who's like a vape guru to deal with new customers and stuff like. No, I mean, there's going to be the cash grab stores. But there are shops like your own that, you kind of already do that without having to have a dedicated service. But, that's something that we don't have. Like, how do you get that older community into those shops? And even Brian and I, well, Brian wasn't, were you? Brian wasn't there. What we were saying is what would be nice is to actually have something like that that's just specifically geared towards that. Just call it Vape Clinic. Like, it's not a store at all. All it is basically, just a vape clinic that is designed to have someone book an appointment, come in, have an offering of products, treat it like a vape shop, but you deal specific, have 3 booths or whatever, and that person just, encourages the older person. They understand what it is. Oh, it's a vape clinic. What's that all about? They can go read on it, and then they could walk in and then get that specialized service. Because it's intimidating. An old person might not walk into a shop like yours. Maybe they go into one of those younger shops where it's a bunch of the flat bill cap people who are they kind of already know what they're doing and they got their little cliques and stuff like that, and you're like, and they get intimidated. They might not be comfortable there, but if they knew they had a specialist that was working with them, I think it made all the sense in the world.
Well, that's the thing, Tim. Is so I was in Nick's position before when I used to manage vape shops, and I had the same deal where we would get customers from other stores. They were trying to quit smoking. They were given a 200-watt device, a DL tank and all this stuff, and they would come in and talk to me, and they would just say, "Hey, it's not working." And I would ask them like, "What milligram are you on?" And they're like, "Well, it's really throaty." I'm like, "Well, what milligram are you on?" And they said that they were using 12, and I'm like, "What the heck is going on here?" And immediately you would think like this, this is just wrong. Like, so I would talk to them. And luckily, the store I worked at, it was kind of like a part video game store, and it was a buy sell trade store. Basically, what it was is people could pawn off their old stuff and use it towards like new stuff, and we did that. We use the same model with vape stuff. So I would talk to them like, "Hey, we'd be willing to buy your old device from you, and we can actually use that towards whatever. If you want to buy something or if you want to keep the money and just purchase the next thing, that's fine too." And they would show me the receipt. If they just got it, I would give them as much as I could for it, and then we would actually resell it as like a used product, like as not, say like a $60 mod, we would sell for, let's say, somewhere around like $45 at max, directly back out. And if they had all the components, we'd sell for a little bit more type thing. Well, anyways, so that's what I would do is they would come in, They'd tell me what's going on. We would end up cleaning out their tanks and stuff like that after they would trade it in, and we would put a new coil in it, resell it type thing, or sell them separately. It really doesn't matter. And I would make sure that they got the right device and right things that they should be using at the same time. And that was really helpful to all these people. So like I get it. I understand that, and it's hurtful to see how some shops are really trying to treat people who are trying to get off cigarettes, and they're not giving them the right device that they should be. They're just looking for that, hey, you're going to be a cloud checker, you're going to be doing this and all that stuff. Well, if you're selling them 12 milligram juice in a 200 watt device in, say, like a Falcon tank, that right there shows me you don't know what you're doing.
Or you don't care to
exactly.
try.
Well, I was in chat here, and like, the other thing is that you cannot legally ask if somebody smokes or vapes during an interview. It's actually illegal to do that here in my state.
Right.
So I'd have to figure out workarounds. And well, if other shops aren't using those workarounds to try to figure out like if the person's actually is a vapor or not, then you're going to get employees who are working there just for a job who don't know what they're doing. Well, that in turn is going to just bring down your business, because actual people, they're going to turn down actual people. They're going to give them the wrong stuff. People are going to get frustrated. They're going to think that vaping isn't good for them. They're going to go back to smoking, and then a small majority of them are going to find a different shop. So that's where that lies. That's just going to ruin a whole lot of things all in one shot. I've talked to other managers. I told them what's going on, and they just don't care. I've tried. I know a lot of the owners and managers around town still, and every time I run something, I'll call them all up, and I will call every shop until I talk to them. I'll tell them who I am, and I'll talk to them and say, hey, here's what's going on. Well, I'll have a talk with them, and then that's as far as it goes.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean,
I'm doing what I can.
It's disappointing. I mean, and I think that's where that argument comes in all the time. Like, we say, like, what if we could get rid of one thing with regard to vaping, like, what would it be if you could save the rest of the industry? And
Stupid
I know
employees.
Well, okay, yeah, I agree there. No, but what my point was going to be towards the angle of the C-store, right? Because a lot of people say, well, if we could get vaping out of the C-stores, because I mean, right out of the gate, you're not going to have anybody behind a counter there that knows probably the first thing about
keep them in the C-stores. Keep them in the C-stores. However, a good angle approach would be to see if we can have some of our vape shops go in there and talk to the people and show them like what these devices are for and what they should be leading to, or even like have an employee that would be there part-time during their busy hours and helping the people who actually are looking to get a device from smoking type thing, and talk to them and then show them like, hey, this is a good device that would help you out, and then also give them the card for the vape shop that they actually work for, and say, if you want to know information, we can create you an appointment, we can go and sit down and talk. And then boom, like that's what I would use.
Yeah, well, that's a hard thing to integrate, though. I mean, because it's not like you walk into a C-store now and you're like, oh my god. You tell the cashier the moment you walk out, like, man, these Marlboro Reds are really harsh on my throat, man. Like, what do you recommend that I smoke? Besides these Marlboro Reds, and then some. Knucklehead knows everything about every pack of cigarettes that's behind him. He'd be like, get here, try the lights. I'm just saying, my point is that you almost have to leave stuff in the C-stores because you're going to have a large contingent of people that are not going to walk into that vape shop to begin with, even if it's a store like Nick's where they really help people, or it's a store where they're just looking for the cash grab. They're going to walk into the C-store, they're going to see the Jewel behind the counter, or the Blue, or the Views, or the Enjoy, and they're going to be like, hey man, I'm going to try this, and they're just going to wing it, and even that might not work for them. So
then they stroll into a vape shop.
Yeah, well, you would think that maybe that would be the next progression.
That's our marketing now.
Yeah,
that's really our marketing now. I mean, we have to depend on these C-stores now to get that person that's pumping their gas or picking up their pack of Twizzlers to want to try this product, and then they try it and go, wait, this is vape. Let me stroll into this vape shop and see what's going on. And that's when we get them, right? That's when we tell them what the truth is, and we share with them. And if they have one of those products, we do a swap program where we give them X amount of dollars off for that device, and they get onto our refillable or open system device, and we show them that, and their mind is opened up, and they go, okay, I got this now. And then they go out on their little journey with vapor products and trying different flavors and just messing with different nic levels and traditional nicotine versus the salt nicotine and what that means and how that all works out. And that's our new initiation, right? I mean, because we can't market and go crazy. Now we do our best. I mean, we throw our stuff on vans at, professional sports games or whatever, but it's still, we attend all the community events and stuff like that, but it still doesn't get that person to want to try it right there on the spot. Right. And we've been to a lot of them, outdoor events. We set up a tent, concerts, stuff like that. We get a few, okay? And then a lot of them will pass out the business cards and we'll see them 2-3 weeks later. I saw you at this event. I figured I'd stop in. But a good initiation is the C-store on those products, because they always want to take a next step and say, well, my friend saw me using this, but they have cherry tobacco. I want to try that. Or blue raz or something. And then they come into a vape shop, and that's when you get to have that conversation, which is great. As much as I don't like saying it, it's reality, is that we need those contacts in vape shops and brick and mortars right now, because there's nothing else I can do.
Right.
And we're very active in our communities.
When I used to manage shops before, is I actually contacted the higher ups at some C stores, like the people who actually own like 4 or 5 or what have you around the state or whatever. And I'm like, hey, here's the deal. I said, this is the new hot upcoming products. I said, I want to see what I can do to help you. I want to make sure that these are going to be in the right hands. And also beyond that, there's other products beyond than what you sell, the jewels and all that stuff. I said, there's other products beyond that, and I want to help you with that. And I want to my whole goal was trying to get a little bit of products of say moving forward into the C stores to help them quit off smoking and quit off the disposables, so they could find out that there's actually better things out there. And the strict answer that they told me was they got all their disposables from tobacco companies, and they would get them for cheap, so they were able to sell them. And that was why they got good deals on them, is because they bought so many cigarette packs, and they would actually get those for free or those for super cheap, and that's why.
So the other thing is, if you're referring to C stores and tobacco companies, is that they require a certain amount of footage on a shelf, right? So they can put whatever product they want on there, and they think a 20% margin is fabulous in a C store or gas station.
Yeah.
So when that tobacco company comes in and pops it up there, and I made the conversion from big tobacco companies to vapor products, and this is what they were telling me, is that they walk into a store and you put on the shelf what they tell you to put on the shelf. They say, that's our space, this is what you're using, and they put it on there, and you get a better margin on that than combustible tobacco products. So you're happy to have it, but it gets placed in your store. You don't tell them what you want. It's not like ordering like a brick and mortar. You're told what you're putting on that shelf in that space. And it's a little tougher, because once, RJ or Philip Morris get in there, you're doing what they tell you to do. And it just like Budweiser and all those guys. I mean, that's the way it is. And big box retail, Target and all them, I mean, they're going to tell you what to put on that end cap.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same concept in a C store with big tobacco. They're going to tell you this is what's going there. So whatever product it is, the flavor of the week, that's what's going there. And they'll send somebody in and set it up for you. It's just now, there you go.
But
And you got to eat
how
the
many
sales
other
and eat the
shops
bargains and all that.
Yeah, but I mean, how many other shops have actually tried to bring that angle up front though too? Is try to do something like that? There really isn't, because at the time that when I was vape managing the shops, that was That was 2014 to 2018, roughly, give or take. And right in the midst of all the legal stuff and everything. And I actually had the 400-page letter from the deeming rules actually sitting on my counter for everyone to look at. I highlighted everything. I actually still have it here somewhere. I highlighted everything that had to do with what we were doing, so people could understand, and nobody realized that actually happened. And so I actually had to bring it to their attention. This is our guidelines right now. This is what it is. I'm sorry. Like, well, why? I'm like, and so I had to explain it to people and show them why. And it sucked to do, but you had to do it, even though some people just didn't care, like you said. You're gonna have those, and then you got some people who a light switch pops on, and then they get a little bit more involved.
$1 a
then,
mil.
And then others
You looking at
that
Paul's
already
comment?
know. Yeah.
Yep.
God
Oh,
damn,
it's true.
Australia.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's a tough nut. And even you put
Go
other
ahead.
gaming. You talking about Paul's comment there on Australia?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, right?
That is fucking crazy.
Paul is
that was the beginning
he's been
of our
fighting that
stuff,
battle
though.
for a very long time.
Yeah, and they also keep raising the price of a pack of cigarettes over there, and they're still selling them like crazy.
That concept is designed by the government to try to get people off of smoking by trying to make them so damn expensive that they won't want to buy them. And I tell you what, I've been to Australia a few times, and we were and a lot of times when I traveled, sometimes I couldn't vape. I'd have to revert back to cigarettes just to fill the gap. I mean, people paid the price. It didn't matter. I mean, even if there were 25 Aussie dollars for a 40 pack or something like that, people were still paying the price. I mean, you want it, you paid for it, yeah. And then I remember I was somewhere in North South Wales. I forget the name of the town, but there was like this little side smoke shop that was like in a courtyard, like where people went for lunch and stuff. And this guy came around the corner and he was selling them for, I think in certain stores it was like $40 a pack, like he was mentioning, but in that store they were $25 a pack. So odds are he probably bought them black market under the table. I don't even know how he had a storefront, but you would go in there, and not to make a really short story very long, but we would take the subway, the train system. That's how we would get back and forth from like our hotel, because we were like in the harbor in Sydney, and then we were at we would go to the warehouse, which is on the other side of town, so it was somewhere near Redfern, I want to say, out that way. Anyway, long story short, I had to buy my ticket to get on the train, so I had 2 packs of cigarettes. I just dropped like, I don't know, it was $25 a pack, and I put them on the kiosk to buy my stupid train ticket, and I forgot them on the kiosk, and I walked away.
Woo!
Made it to the office, and I just realized that I had left
Oh, jeez.
like 50 Aussie dollars. I'm like, wow, happy birthday, somebody.
Yeah.
You just got a couple free packs of smokes. Anyway,
40
stupid
bucks
story
a
about
pack.
smoking, but yeah.
$40
That
a
place-
pack. That's dinner for 2, man. Fuck.
There's nothing you can do for advocacy there either. I mean, we've tried to work on that country with Paul, and they won't have anything to do with anything. They won't hear you. They won't give you the time of day, and they just say,
Right.
"No, we don't want to hear it." They just shut him right down. It's sick.
Yeah.
So they rape you. They're making their money on that tobacco.
They are, which is still,
Like
it's
kangaroo
still
meat.
technically still part of England, right? It's still technically part of England. So it's just kind of funny how they're on opposite ends of this, whole vaping thing, what England is doing, what Australia is doing. And even, parts of, what else is part of the United Kingdom? Ireland? Is Ireland part of the United Kingdom? No. What else is part of the United Kingdom that has smoking or vaping issues?
Oh yeah, I think you can smoke. I think you can vape in those countries in the UK. I don't think anything's banned in Ireland or
No,
Scotland
but they have
or
these
the UK.
crazy numbers and totals for to buy e-liquid, and you don't
For
you don't
cigarettes
hear
and
about.
e-liquid.
Yeah, you don't hear about that in England. It's still it's still affordable to actually buy. Well, they're limited to what, a 10 ml bottle there.
Yeah, but see but that's the disparity in it all, and the one thing is that most places that have to, both options available. That they take the alternative, which is healthier for you or safer for you in general, and then they out tax that above the thing that's worse for you, and it walks people right back into the thing that they quote unquote are trying to get you to quit anyway.
New Zealand was the other one that I was thinking that was part of
They
it.
don't even have to demonize it at that point. They just price it out of your range.
Yeah, they just make it so darn expensive. You're like, it's cheaper to smoke. I'll just smoke.
Yeah, I'll just smoke.
John, the UK is made up of England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland.
Yeah. New Zealand, Canada.
I'm trying to think now. Hold on.
No. The UK is made up of England, Scotland,
Australia.
Wales, and Northern Ireland. That's the 4.
Yeah.
Canada, New Zealand, and Australia are
Yeah,
the
they belong
rough
to.
ones.
Yeah,
Are they?
those are the rough ones.
yeah. Re-Google.
I don't know that they belong to the UK, but they're still the rough ones.
Yeah,
I don't know who they belong to.
yeah.
I know they don't belong to us.
Well, Canada's got the Queen on their freaking coinage, so obviously that she is still of importance there in Canada. Maybe not to the public itself, but she's still part of that. And I think Australia and New Zealand, because Australia used to. Well, I don't want to go into the history of Australia, but it was.
We got to bring Paul on for that.
Yeah. Paul could come on and give us the rundown on the history of the island of New Zealand and Australia. Tim, are you ready for some news? Nick, you're welcome.
I sure am. I always
it's
come
late for you
prepared.
there.
Yeah, I know. Late for
I
me.
want to hear the news.
All right, let's do the news. Timmy, here you go, buddy.
Joy for joy. Where's my...
Tap,
You
tap.
see them. They're right here.
Look at that. He even highlighted them. I saw
You
yellow.
like, well, yeah. So, yeah, I try to make it look like I actually have an edumacation, Look at that. I got bullet points and everything.
Damn.
The wonder of Microsoft Office, it makes you look super smart,
How much of that is copy and pasting?
No, I actually hand type those notes.
Hand types it. I believe
Brian,
it.
letter for letter. I do not,
Did you
what's
hear
the
this
word,
man's
plagiarize? I'm like 60
per minute.
Yeah, it was 60 W. Dude, when I was back in
when I was younger,
when I was back in the
Back
day.
in my day.
Yeah,
Back
see,
in
like
my
no,
day.
we didn't get to go to classes with your fancy little computer keyboards with the soft key touch.
Typing
Hell
class,
no.
man.
Hell to the no. We were in typing class for 2 semesters with the old classic standard typewriter with the carriage return, bro. Not even the electric versions where you could hit like the one button, it would go return, and then it would. We had the lever, and you had to push that and long press, man.
Remember
Long press.
she would tape the paper on top of the keys, and you had to put your hands underneath the paper so you couldn't see the keys. That's how.
And then the long press was so hard that that you'd watch the hammer come up and hit the paper, and you would not push it hard enough. But now the damn thing has typed the letter and moved forward for the next one, and then so you got all this inconsistency in the type, and you're taking the carriage and you're trying to manually move that son of a bitch back so you can get that hammer to hit it again and make it darker.
Yeah,
I tell you, it was a real struggle back in those days.
So I think what he's trying to say, it would have taken him longer to cut and paste than it would to type it. That's what
I
Tim's
just
saying.
have to have that old school feel.
My takeaway from it is Tim's old as fuck.
Yeah, I
Well,
am. I'm
Tim, to be
97.
fair-
Thank you very much.
To be fair, Tim, you said you
Yeah.
type 60 words a minute. Average is 40, so you're above average, so you're welcome.
I try.
we all knew Tim was above
Hey,
average.
how many of you work with executives in the corporate office world where you watch them one hand typing their emails
no,
to
not
their
one hand.
associates?
Never.
Do you not want to just jump over their desk and be like, bro,
Yeah.
come on, man. Anyhow, let's get to the news. All right, I don't have 3 tonight. I know everyone is sorely disappointed in the fact that I don't have 3, but we're going to have a review at the end, which will qualify. I did 2. I think a lot of us had the Commodore 64.
I had the Tandy.
Yeah, we had everybody. We all like, yeah, that was our intro. Anyhow, long story short, the review will qualify for our third article. The middle article is a little long and winded. I always encourage conversation as I deliver the news. So that means for the panel as well as the chat. If you have any questions about what I'm talking about, I'm not the expert on everything that is involved in that article. So don't, I'm basically just transferring information. I have consumed the article, but I may not have some of the backstory, so feel free to chime in at any given time. Let me share my screen for visual purposes. Promise to you it's not some bad website. Let me make it. Yeah, go ahead and lock and load me. All right, so this article is kind of a little bit of a review of what the article that we kind of talked a little bit about last week, and that is that Juul is now under fire significantly from a lot of different states, municipalities, a class action lawsuit. Like, they're basically just getting hammered with lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, which are effective copies of each other, mostly all with the same claim that in essence, Juul's business and marketing practices certainly influence children to start vaping and people to get on this evil, nasty habit. So now the states are taking their luxuries and filing lawsuits. Now, Juul, arbitrarily, they don't want to go to trial over any of this stuff. So a lot of these, you're going to see them get settled out of court for a lot less than probably what they would have been on the hook for if they actually go to full-blown trial. So we already know that Juul paid out $40 million to the state of North Carolina to shut them up. But there is some relevancy here, because for those of you that are in the chat that don't know anything about it, I encourage you to do your research. I will give you the soup to nuts, or the cliff notes of what the Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement is, and that was something that took place in the year of 1998. And basically what it was like a hush deal. It's a hush deal. Yeah, well. And so, obviously the tobacco companies had convinced the government that, smoking was healthy for you, but then years later they found out it was killing a bunch of people. And so in order for the tobacco companies to avoid being sued and really hung out to dry, they agreed to then commit a percentage of tobacco sales, which amounts to about $27 billion every year, paid out to multiple states. That is a portion of the revenue from cigarette sales, to basically not get sued up the wazoo for people dying of tobacco-related illnesses, and then the states get some money from the tobacco companies that they are supposed to spend a portion of that on tobacco prevention programs, which they don't typically do. They only spend a very small fraction of that on what it's intended for. The other part of that is, and this will make sense to people why you don't see the tobacco industry getting crushed in its wake, is the fact that states rely on that money to come in annually, and what they do is they take out bonds to get money fronted to them so that they can go on these wild spending sprees on shit that's stupid and doesn't need to have money spent on it. But then these bonds can go into arrears. So if they don't pay these bonds back by the end of the year, then they're kind of in trouble as well. So they count on that money coming in from the Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement to pay back and pay off the bonds, so they can reset and do this same shit over and over and over again every year. So here's the relevancy in it, and it also kind of, it kind of highlights why the states love that revenue coming in and why you don't see the tobacco industry going away. So the Master Settlement Agreement parameters may be the new precedent or precedent and the roadmap for settlements with e-cigarette companies moving forward. And I think that this is something that a bunch of us kind of may have telegraphed along the way. Now, when you talk about somebody like Juul, they're a huge organization, $1 billion organization. Actually, I think they're down to 100 millions now, right? I think we noted that they had a significant decline in sales in the last couple of years. $120 million loss or something like that. However, they are, Altria invests in them. Yep. 35% of the company is tobacco, big tobacco. So we also know that several states are pressing have pressing lawsuits against Juul currently, Currently, and those same states were also included in the 1998 Master Settlement Agreement. So there's the tether right there. So the same states that were pushing and got to the Master Settlement Agreement are also the same states that are pressing lawsuits against Juul mostly. They're not coming after Jam Monster, and they're not coming after Smoke and all these other companies. They're basically coming after Juul. That's the only one they seem to really understand. Potentially some of the other ones that have market share that are in the mainstream, but just not the stuff that we touch. I explained the Master Settlement Agreement for those that may not have understood exactly what that was and how that plays a big reason into why you see legislators protect the tobacco industry, because they're protecting their states is what they're doing. And they're protecting big tobacco and big pharma and all that other bullshit. Anyway, so the campaign for tobacco-free kids found that for the fiscal year of 2021, only 2.4% of the total $27 billion received by all 46 states was spent on tobacco prevention and cessation programs. So out of $27 billion, only 2.4% was spent on that. Now, some states, we even pointed out, that some states that get MSA money didn't spend anything on tobacco prevention, $0 on tobacco prevention. Nope. Some of them were a little bit more, some a little bit less. It was kind of all across the board. What that amounts to is an 11% decrease from last fiscal year, 2020, and it amounts to less than 1/5 of the total funding recommended. I don't know who does the recommending in this particular, I guess the FDA, or I don't know what organization is part of it. Maybe Nick, you know the answer to that. What functioning organizations are the ones that recommend how much money should be spent on tobacco cessation programs? Do you know the answer to that?
I do not.
Okay. I do not.
That's fine. We call that parking lot. We'll parking lot that element, and we'll find out exactly who does that recommending. However, I'll go back to the original statement. The 2.4% of the $27 billion represents an 11% decrease from fiscal year 2020 and amounts to less than 1/5 of the total funding recommended for these types of programs. So that's how little they even really care about this money coming in. You know, it's supposed to be. So basically, if you're not spending money to get people to quit, then they're just going to continue to do it. And then that means that they're just going to get the same money. Do you all understand how twisted your fucking government can be sometimes? And then they take it all out on vaping. Like it's the worst thing that ever friggin' showed up on the planet since breathing. Okay? I mean, that's just how stupid it is. So Florida collected, here's Florida, Nick's state. He probably even knows these facts. Florida collected $1.5 billion of that $27 billion that's paid out to the states, but they only spent, hold on, let me finish the sentence, $73.4 million on tobacco prevention. Did I lose you guys? I think my mic came unhooked.
No, you're good.
Nope, you worked. You worked great. It works, Tim.
No, my mic still works. I just can't hear. I can't hear you guys. It's a weird thing on my side. But yeah, so was I accurate in that number, Nick?
You were.
That's what was in the article.
But Florida is one of the states of 5, I believe, that took the tobacco agreement before the MSA started.
Yeah,
Yep.
up front.
You are correct about that.
Yep.
You are correct about that. And then there was another little tidbit. Conversely, Floridians spend about $8.6 billion annually in healthcare costs directly related to smoking, and the federal tax burden on Floridians due to smoking-related illnesses and government spending is about 840. Well, sorry, let me read that sentence again. I may have left out a word. And the federal tax burden on Floridians due to smoking-related government spending, now I've read it right, is about $844 per household. That's the tax burden. And my mic cut out again. No, it didn't. And
That
you
one,
guys are still
I think
there.
that number's pretty light comparatively speaking, if I'm not mistaken, as you go through the other states.
I don't
Yes.
know. I mean, obviously, we don't have the graph here. I mean, obviously, we do have state funding here where it's kind of showing what states are spending what. You can see California, Alaska, North Dakota, of all places. Maine and Oklahoma 50% or more funding. So that means that they are spending 50% or more towards tobacco prevention. The ones in orange are about a quarter of the way. 40. How's 25%? Oh, 25 to 49.9%. So we really don't know. They're in a range. And then the yellow ones are anywhere from 10 to 25%. And then anybody in the gray, like my state, just doesn't give a rat's ass. They don't spend shit on tobacco prevention. But they do allow us to vape, and there's no vape bans and things like that. So it's kind of a win-win. You know, as long as you're vaping and you're not smoking, you're preventing yourself from smoking. You don't need that 10%, right? At less than 10%. All right. Any questions on that one? Anybody in the chat have a question about how twisted governments are?
I trust my government.
Yeah, wholeheartedly. You even trust Gavin Newsom?
No.
I feel for you. At any rate, moving along. There's Johnny Cash. There's Johnny Cash. All right. This one actually was kind of an interesting article. There was another article that Brian shared with me that was also interesting, but I decided to hold off on that one because I think this one had a little bit longer of a conversation. I thought people shouldn't understand. Yeah, I know. Well, it wasn't intentional. It had intention. I need an article for next week, so give me a fucking break. So this one comes from the Vapor Voice, and I kind of had to laugh because Charles Gardner's tweet on this one, he was like, usually he's very educated and he gives you really hard facts about stuff about vaping, but this one he's like, wow, I didn't see that. Didn't see that one coming or something like that with some laughy faces. So the FDA allegedly,
here you go.
allegedly has issued or falsely issued warning letters, and they also have other PMTA problems related with that process that they set up for all of these vape manufacturers to then get their PMTA submitted in by September 9th of last year. So the FDA PMTA process has not been perfect. Shocker. And the regulatory agency has been accused of falsely issuing warning letters, leaving companies off the accepted PMTA list, and having issues with its PMTA filing software. So in the end, basically, they're just, well, of course, for those who may not know, they got hammered with 6 million applications before the deadline hit. So they're overwhelmed to begin with. So it probably shouldn't surprise anybody that, it's a government organization to begin with. You always hear the terms good enough for government work. And usually what that means is that you're just kind of giving enough effort to get over the finish line. Or you're jerry-rigging. You're jerry-rigging something just to kind of like make it there. So that's kind of like, I think that's sort of like the mentality with a lot of these federal organizations. I mean, they got people that have been in the federal government for 13, 14, 15 years.
Tim is just shitting on every fucking federal employee out there.
Because they're just rotten bastards. A lot of them. There's probably a couple nice ones. And you know what? And no fault to the people that just have jobs working in the government. I get it. I've worked in corporate America a huge portion of my life, And you reach a point where you're like, I'm just going to do what's in the job description. Like they just tell me to go ahead and look at this and do this, and sometimes you don't try as hard. It's a paycheck. They want their paycheck. They want to go home. They want to see their family, have their beer, and have a vape, and they don't want to read PMTAs anymore. As of July 9th, the FDA has issued 130 warning letters for marketing of illegal vaping products. So to date, within not quite a year's full time, 130 warning letters. Most of the letters, that's a new word. Everybody play that one in Scrabble.
Scrabble.
Yeah, those N's should be converted to T's, letters. Sorry. Most of the letters centered on e-liquids produced and sold online by small-sized vape shops. So that was, your independent people who are, I don't know what small size quantifies, but I'm going to guess, either small vape manufacturers that have maybe one or two lines. I don't know to what girth that umbrellas, but small sized vape shops. As the FDA continues to mail out warning letters, several companies who followed all of the steps and requirements have been issued warning letters. So, American Vaping Association actually put a post up. I don't know if it was a tweet or I think it was a Facebook post. They said that they're aware of at least 2 companies that received these letters despite submitting timely PMTAs. So even though they got their PMTAs in on time, they were issued warning letters, I guess telling them that they were late filing their PMTAs or something like that. Now, anytime the the FDA it issues a warning letter based on these PMTAs, those companies have 15 days to respond to that letter, and they have to follow some steps. I'll get to that at the end. However, they have to then pull those products from the shelf because they're technically in violation. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that that might be a reason at times as to why you see certain shortages on certain e-liquids, because those companies may not be I don't want to say not admitting to, but may not be broadcasting the fact that they got a warning letter of any kind,
Right.
and that they kind of temporarily have to pull those products down off the shelf or create an effective shortage in the market before they clear up all that stuff, even if it is a falsely sent warning letter. But according to follow-up Facebook posts on that issue, the FDA did correct that mistake, and after they got complaints from the companies that received the warning letters. Now, the FDA did not come back and explain why there was that faux pas or why they made that mistake, what went wrong in their system that caused that to happen. They didn't explain it. They just got the complaint and they corrected it. So those 2 companies then got their selves back on track. The FDA has admitted that due to this, now they admitted this. This is not assumed. The FDA has admitted that due to the 6 million PMTA applications received, they will most certainly miss the 1-year deadline for review. So that's kind of the other part of the PMTA. So when companies are forced to go through the PMTA process, they're allowed, and they file timely, and they fill out the form precisely. That company then has 1 full calendar year's term to keep that product on the shelf and to be sold, which is another reason as to why you saw some vape products just disappear and vanish like thin air, because those companies chose not to file PMTAs for those particular products or potentially all of their products, in which case they become illegal and they can't sell those products. They got to pull them. So a lot of companies went belly up. So they did have a full calendar year. Now, what does that mean for all these companies that filed timely? They're coming up on their 1-year term. Does that mean that they're going to have to pull those products after the fact and yank those products down because they're now beyond that 1-year time limit? I think the general consensus is that the FDA is aware of this and that they're probably going to offer like an arbitrary extension, give everybody anybody they never really got to, they would get another full calendar year. Beyond that, that's the presumption. Apparently, companies can file for an extension, but this is not the company's fault. It's not like they were getting warning letters and that they had to go back and correct a bunch of stuff, which drug out that process. This is the FDA just not being able to keep up. So all PMTA applications are supposed to be fully reviewed by September 9th of this year. So if a negative action is taken by the FDA on a PMTA prior to that September 9th deadline, the product must be removed from the market or risk FDA enforcement. So that means that they could get in a lot of trouble if they continue to try to sell those products if they have a negative action against them and they haven't cleared it up. Now, this is where the line gets a little blurred, and maybe somebody here kind of knows more than I do, so feel free to chime in. And you, Brian, maybe you can comment on this one specifically. If a positive action order is taken, meaning accepted and or approved, we haven't really gotten to that level yet. Nick, maybe you even know the answer to this. So I was just commenting that if a negative action is taken on a company and with regard to a PMTA violation, that company must remove that product from the market or face FDA enforcement. It follows up to say that if a positive action or order is taken, the product may continue to be marketed according to the terms specified in the issued letter. So my question is this. We know that the FDA is not going to get to all these applications in the full calendar year term. So there's going to be a lot of companies that did submit PMTAs that never even got through the review process. Okay. Do you feel that those companies will just receive an arbitrary 1-year extension?
Personally, yes.
Okay. But then they make this make this statement about a positive action taken against the PMTA. What would be a positive action in that regard? Would that be an acceptance? I mean, would that be the acceptance?
They will. So this thing is in stages, and I lost internet for a minute, so I just jumped back on. But I think I know where you're going. So with the acceptance means they've accepted the actual filing. Stage 2 would be the testing.
Okay.
So they'll accept the filing once they verify if it's been filed. Then you get that acceptance letter. That's it. That's where it stops.
Okay.
Stage 2 of that is all your submission of testing and stuff once they give direction on what that's going to look like. So right now, your first step is to get the filing in. And if they can't get to you to say, yes, we've received your filing,
Yep.
I personally feel that there will be an extension of them being able to get through the paperwork. They're not just going to cut it off and say, nobody can sell until we decide we're going to get through it.
Yeah.
I think they'll kick that can once again and see where it goes from there, and try to get through it. But to your
So
point,
if companies have gotten through their PMTA has been accepted, because I think we have been privy to that. I think some companies have actually been accepted.
yes.
Now you say they moved to phase 2. They're clearly not going to get through that testing phase, even in the course of that 1 year's term. Does that mean that they're still under the same guideline to then pull that product after a year? Let's just say they decide not to give them the extension. Does that mean even though they're in phase 2 in the testing phase, they still have to pull those products at the end of that calendar year?
They haven't said yet because that language is not complete. But that once they've been accepted and come up with a format on testing and who will be accepted as a testing facility,
Right.
I think you'll see it move pretty quick because then they've shifted responsibility, right?
Right.
So now it's up to these manufacturers to get with these labs to get tested in a timely manner, or they will be cut off. Okay. Once they get it out of their hands and deflect it, then that's in their hands. Hey, we're giving you the place, we're giving you the venue, the avenue, the everything you need to do. Right. Go do it. If you don't do it by this time, then you pull it off the shelf. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it's obviously very convoluted process.
Exactly.
But it's important to note that the FDA is not handling this very well anyway to begin with.
No,
so apparently the FDA has released a list of products that are legal for sale. I don't even know what that really means. I would think I think they still like to tout the word everything that's vape related is technically illegal because it's not FDA approved. That's the terminology they love to use. And that of the 360 companies that filed, 5 of them were somehow erroneously left off the list. So even though they filed, they did not appear on that list. Humble Juice received an acceptance letter, but was subsequently misidentified on the FDA's list of approved products. So Humble had to go through some flaming hoops. The FDA stressed that it has not independently verified the information provided by applicants about the marketing status of their products. Other issues that they're experiencing with the electronic filing system. And so some companies, rather than mail things in vis-a-vis paper, there was an electronic upload filing process. I heard about the thumb drives and all that crazy stuff. Yeah. But then I think you could electronically file as well. And even though companies were uploading all of the pertinent paperwork and files that they needed to upload in order to qualify and get their PMTA accepted, some files were getting lost in translation. So those companies were issued, they're saying their PMTAs were incomplete. But they were able to go back and prove to them that all the files were uploaded at that time. Deficiency letters were mailed out, and it was only at that time the companies were aware that previously uploaded files apparently were not received by the FDA. So here's the bottom line. So even if these companies get a warning letter, whether it be misguided or not, the companies have 15 days to respond to the warning deficiency letter with their corrective action plan. They must also include the dates which had discontinued the sale of those items that were in violation. And they also must include the company's plan for maintaining compliancy moving forward. Now, the other thing that they did throw in on all this is that when a company does receive a warning letter, they only list a few products. And so what's unclear at this point is whether or not that letter then only means for those specific products or whether or not they're targeting the entire line. There's not a lot of clarity in that. This article was a little long. I just think it's kind of funny and interesting to hear how the FDA is struggling with this entire process and why I think that vaping is going to be, unless they come down with some other action plan at the federal level, the federal government is not going to change the status of vaping at a federal level in any way, shape, or form because they already started this process. Where you need to keep your focus on is at the state level because that's where they're going to hurt you the quickest and the fastest. So anyway, comical but not surprising. FDA can't seem to get their shit together and handle the PMTA process. So as far as advocacy for the week, I'm going to switch over here real quick. I'm going to just do a quick review for people that were around.
I have an answer for you, Tim.
Okay, go for it.
So you wanted to know who dictates funding for the MSAs.
Yes.
So you had me on that. So I had to go unless Brian's already on it or Tom. I don't know. It appears that the Attorney General is the one that is listed as the authorized representative to enter into the agreement and dictate. Now, I might be wrong, but that's what it appears to be.
And that sounds like a solid answer, and I would just say snakes, all of them, all snakes in the grass. No, I don't know.
It's nobody that's not, let's face it, there's nobody not a snake that's going to make that decision, so.
Yeah. Right, so, but even the AG knows that even if they recommend that number, that the damn states are not going to spend that amount of money. They're too concerned about not going belly up on any of those bonds that they fronted and they don't want to default on. And then they want that money to go towards other programs, which there may be some value in that money going somewhere. I'm not saying that the government doesn't spend some positive money here and there. Maybe it's infrastructure. Maybe it's...
It's too late. You already shitted on all the federal employees nationwide, so don't worry about it.
I did not. I shit on their organization, not the people that are working.
So I just sent you this, by the way, so it's in your messenger.
All right.
Perfect. All right, so let's do a quick review. I'm trying to figure out if I had a tick on my arm, and I did not. So because we had two, I don't. Yeah, no, it wasn't. I think it's an old age spot. I think it's one of those crusty old age spots that you get when you get up there in age.
Are you sure it's not wiener fleas?
It's not wiener fleas. That just sounds wrong. Oh my God, I've got wiener fleas.
They're shaped like wieners.
No, we don't want to talk about that. At any rate, so there was if I think it was on the homepage. We already know that Arizona and Utah had some calls to action. So if you ever want to know about your state, you can go to your state or local level here. They have this get involved. That's what they want you to do. It's a consumer-based organization, right? They are you, we are them, we are all of us, right? So Utah has a call to action going on right now. You can click on the state, and they will tell you what your calls to action are. I believe they had the one. Right? No, that's the higher level one. But Utah had the one for sensible vaping laws, a sensible vape mail, and then also you had the one in Arizona where they wanted instill a arbitrary nic cap and not sell anything over 36 milligram nic salt in the stores. So those are your calls to action, but really I'm just doing it to highlight the site. This is where you're going to get the latest calls to action about your state at the national or local level for yourself. So if you feel like following their easy 1, 2, 3 step process where you can fill out basically an online form and send off a letter to your governor or potentially your senator or your representative, they have it all slated out for you. So we always endorse KASA.org. And I encourage you, if you haven't signed up, go sign up.
Well,
and
Nick,
that, my friend,
Nick,
Yes.
Can I just add something to the KASA thing?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The another very important piece of this website is you can pick your state and find your reps and engage conversation with them before it becomes a shitstorm. So there's an easy link on there. Tim, if you'll just click that right there. If
Right
legislative
here on the
info,
left side, it says Governor Gary Herbert.
Yeah.
Your
So-
senators, Leslie McLean, so on.
9 tips to being an advocate, current laws and taxes. I mean, this is very important information. Now, there's a link on here that says find your rep somewhere. I've seen it.
Oh, you talked.
No, they
right here,
revamped.
right
They revamped the page, Nick.
So
It's been all
yeah,
redone.
I see it.
Yeah.
But that right there is a very important button to hit because you can find your rep and reach out to them and have a conversation with them about, hey, this is what I want to talk to you a little bit about a topic that's pretty hot on my list. And, what are your feelings on this? And go through it. So there's some very important resources on this page. I know these guys bring it up every time and really promote the KASA page, but there is a lot of information on this page that is very useful. So become a member. It doesn't cost you a dime.
Nope.
If you can donate. And lastly, get involved. I mean, this is a great tool for anybody anywhere to be involved in. If you don't know and you don't know how to have these conversations, there's a button on there to say 9 ways to become an advocate. And if 3 of them fit into your wheelhouse, use the 3,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can I address Douglas's comment?
Yeah, hold on. One more thing. Open your emails, guys. They know how many people are opening their emails. So please open those emails. If you're going to join KASA, at least take the time to open the email and see what's going on.
Yeah,
Because
don't
that
just delete
email is specific to you. It's not, you're not going to get an email that's a call of action in Utah if you live in California. So it's really important that you open those, unless it's a nationwide call of action.
Yeah.
But most of the time, that email is designated for your specific area. So open them up and read them. Please read them. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Tim.
Wow. Why did it do that?
I don't know.
I'm burning up. All right. No, I wanted to address Douglas's comment. Douglas Roach. He made a comment right there. And Luke, I wasn't in the woods. I live in a. I live in
woods?
well, no, I said I had a tick. He was worried I was in the woods. No, I live in basically boring ass suburbia. So. The woods are a little bit further away. Anyhow, I wanted to address Douglas's comment. If you can bring it up, it's Douglas Roach, right in between Vape Lord and LabWorks.
Douglas Roach, right there?
Right
That
there,
one?
yeah. So I think this is an important point, and I do think that there's a little bit of validity to all this because I think from an advocacy perspective, I mean, Nick's on a whole other level, on an advocacy level than a lot of us are. Really, what we talk about here is just exercising your voice, right? If you have something that you believe in so vehemently, if you care about vaping, if you care about saving this process, I'm not trying to preach. I'm just saying, yes, we care about ourselves. It's the me kind of experience. But at the same time, you have to remember there's a lot of other people out there that are going to lose this just as equally as you are going to lose this. Yeah. Can you go back to the other comment, please?
Yeah.
Leave that up for me. So the reason why I want to talk about it, I think it probably scrolled on you. So, and we're not trying to shove it down your throat. I mean, we're just saying if you care about something so much and you know that someone can just snatch it away from you all that easy, despite all the BS, wouldn't you rather feel good about yourself knowing that you went down fighting anyway? Yep. Or do you just want to say, it's not worth my effort to really try anymore? Like, you never know. You never know. Like, if one person catches on to that fire, one person catches on to that enthusiasm for trying to save something, yeah, it's a big, major uphill battle. Like, yeah, we do have to fight politicians and we do have to fight systems that are designed to not be fair and all that. But you know what? Little wins can turn into big wins. So I don't want anyone to feel like your voice is lost, even though it feels like sometimes your voice is lost. We need the power of that voice, and we need those numbers to be up in order for those voices to matter. But if you've only got, a small percentage of the vaping community, and we like to say, there's 8 million vapors, 13. Of course, we're not going to get 8 million to 13 million to all advocate. But if we can get, I don't know, a friggin' fifth of that. A fifth of that. I mean, that's a lot of friggin' people. and people could see that we care, but his point is valid. He said, I feel like gone are the days of voices of reason, science, research, and health. It's all about the money and nothing else. Money talks and all else walks, period. It's a very valid statement, and it jades people significantly, because if you feel like it's a losing battle, you're not going to try. But I'm not going to go down without a fight. I'm not just going to throw my hands up and feel like I can't fight to my last breath. Like, they may very well take it away from me. They may very well throw us into a prohibition. But I'm going to keep advocating for it because I believe in it. And that's what I'm saying is, even when you feel like it's all for naught, I still think it's worth the fight. So I just wanted to address that comment because I think his point is very valid, and it's how a lot of people feel anymore.
Yeah,
It is. And if we'd have
Thanks,
taken
Douglas.
if we'd have taken that stance in 16, we'd be done by now. So we got to keep fighting, man.
Yes, sir.
Make them work. Make them work to reasonably regulate our industry and validate it, and let's do our thing.
Yep.
very good.
Well,
Tim,
there's a couple
tap
things
your
there
papers.
with,
Thank you. Go ahead, Brian.
with Douglas. I was kind of reading what he was saying, and in his other comments after that, he feels worn out, and I get it. Like, we all get it. Trust me. Like, it's not like a new thing. But the thing is, though, like, don't stop. Just back off a bit and take your reset time, and then go back to it again. And it just take those steps back. That's what we all keep doing. So
Come into shows like this.
sorry.
Get
Yeah.
motivated.
Get
Yeah,
motivated.
it's just-
And who-
Yeah, we're not trying to be your mom or dad, damn it. We
Yeah,
know you
yeah.
got one.
Yeah.
We're just saying. That's what we're saying.
Don't quit.
We're just saying.
Quit.
Don't
Yeah,
quit.
You could
Don't give up.
just lay back a little bit. Maybe focus on one area of the advocacy instead of maybe trying to do it all at once. Focus on your area, maybe your local city councilman or your state senators and representatives, and then move up to back into the federal and attack it, 100%. But yeah, don't just stop doing it, because I always believe that sometimes you'll read something and that's the one thing that gives you that spark. And I think a lot of times if you stop advocating and you stop writing in these posts and stop speaking your mind, no one's going to see what you have to say, and it's just, it's horrible. I don't want that to happen. I want people to be, no, some of us can't be 100% passionate, but fuck, just give us, I don't know, 20%. Give us 20%.
Right.
That's why we try to show you guys the easy ways to advocate. We don't want you to march down the street with pickets all the time.
Not yet.
Yeah, it may come to that. It may come to that. We might call on you.
Yeah, we may be dropping a lot of e-liquid in the bay.
Yeah.
Right. But with
No way,
with
that shit's
Tim-
expensive.
with what Tim was saying earlier, and Nick too, in the MSA agreement, it was the NAAG, which means the National Association of Attorneys General, or a successor organization that is directed by the Attorney General to perform certain functions under this agreement. Okay. Here's my question I was kind of thinking about. And later on, if it kind of writes original participating manufacturers, which means the following: Brown Williamson Tobacco, Lilliard, Philip Morris, Reynolds, and the respective successors of each of the foregoing, except as expressly provided in this agreement. Once an entity becomes an original participating manufacturer, such entity shall permanently retain the status of the original participating manufacturer, which means if those tobacco companies actually buy out vape stuff, are they still tied into this agreement?
Yeah, well, I think that's what they want. Is they want basically an MSA to include vape products because they lumped vaping in with tobacco products.
No, it's not. Well, yes, okay, yes, but it's not like it's a separate thing now. Once they buy out that thing and it's considered a tobacco product, it falls underneath this agreement. So my thing is with the whole Juul thing and like lawsuits and stuff, they're gonna win those every single time because of the buyout.
Of course.
So if there's a way that we can help to like not have them like those specific higher end people buy all these things out, then we don't have to really abide by this such agreement.
No. I think you got enough vape companies, the smaller. There's enough resistance from the vape community that they don't want to be associated to big tobacco. They're not going to allow their companies to be bought out by big tobacco, even if it meant it could potentially save them. We don't want to be associated with big tobacco.
Okay, Tim, here's a question for you. You helped start up like a disposable manufacturer company, and you're making some money off it, not a big deal. And they decided to come along and offer you like $1.5 billion to buy you out, and then you can just ride out the rest of your life and not do squat for it. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where the mentality, like we were talking about earlier.
That was about 30% of the companies 4 years ago.
Right. So like, you know, if the mentality of the vape shops we were talking about earlier about like just making money and stuff, if they're offered these big, huge figures and they're getting bought out by a big, huge company, then what's going to happen is that, like Disney, they're going to own everything and that's going to fall underneath the agreement and then we're all going to be screwed.
Okay.
Well, right. Yeah, I'm just saying I'm hoping that there will be some suckers and that they will sell out. I'm sure there'll be a handful of them. I'm just saying I think there's enough resistance in the vape community, though, that they won't buy into that because they don't want their name tethered to big tobacco.
All right.
Yeah,
We're already
well,
seeing it.
I agree.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Enough. We got to move on.
Darn.
Yeah, it's already 2 hours.
I did have something to share, though, from AVM, though. That was 2 days ago.
All right, go.
Be very, very quick.
Quick and Brian don't go together.
Very,
dude.
very quick. Basically, what they've done, they've actually helped and met up with people to help actually streamline studies. Basically, the short of it is they found a way to test 7 different liquids for the price of one, together with the testing sites with the FDA.
I am a member.
So that's
I'm
pretty
glad
awesome.
to see this.
So make sure everyone knows that they're actually working and they're trying to do something and it's actually working. So that's pretty awesome.
My stuff's going through there.
Yeah, maybe we need to get Amanda on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Char. Moving on. I'm actually impressed with Brian's quick. Go.
That was quick for Brian.
That was the first. That was you all just witnessed history right there.
You witnessed history.
Pat yourself on the back, Brian.
Yeah, let's pat him on the back. Let me see here. How do I do this again? This has been a while here.
Come on, John, quick.
No, I don't want to do the solo layout. I wanted to do I wanted to keep you guys in the frame.
It's upside down.
What's upside down?
Your box.
Hey, Nick.
Oh God.
What are those? They must be. They look pretty old.
Yeah, they are.
Nick's gonna hold up his hands. He's gonna have like all of his hands full.
Next time Nick's on, he'll have one of those Tampa Bay Super Bowl rings in his hands. All right, quick unboxing of the LUXE Q. We're just going to do the unboxing next week. I'll come on and tell you what I thought about it. Basically, here's the packaging. I have not used this.
Yeah, the video's upside down for us. I don't know about what it looks like for you.
Oh, it's for you guys. Yeah.
No, the other way.
No, there you go.
Okay,
now we can see.
You're good.
All right, look at that. I got pros here.
That's beautiful, John.
That's beautiful. I just don't say sexy. All right, this is their box. Let me
Look at Zach. It's a fucking box.
So you get a little package in there. Looks like this is new. I haven't bought a pod system in quite some time. So you got your little manual. Is upside down. You got your
now
manual?
It's right. Yeah, we can see it fine now. Yeah,
There's
for
your
you, you're gonna have to
manual.
hold everything upside down.
A little. What is this? This is probably their. Just telling. Oh, for their. Everyone is so concerned about anti-theft stuff and counterfeiting. I don't know if anybody's counterfeiting the LUXE Q product or not. And
I actually like that, so I applaud that, to be honest.
Yeah, and their little warranty card. And in the box, you're going to get the is it upside down? The battery.
Okay.
The battery. God damn it, man! I got to get used to it. See, it's been a while since I did a product review, so got your little box. You got your device in there with the over here, John. This is weird to me. This feeling here. I don't know what they're using for that. It's kind of cool though.
100% authentic fake gator.
Yeah. It is. It's just a weird
So-
feeling. It feels like it's got like I don't know, some sort of get your extra coil, a USB Type C charging cable. I'm sorry I'm going fast, but we're over 2 hours, and I didn't want to go over 2 hours. But I'll let you guys know what I think about the product when I do the review. I'll use it this week and try it out, and then let you guys know.
Draw
what I think.
activated only?
It is. Yes, it is. It's draw. I don't know. I
I don't see a button. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know if it is or isn't. No, there isn't no button on it, so it is draw activated. So I'll have to, like I said, I'll have to go through it. It is a 1,000 milliamp built-in battery. It comes with the 0.8 mesh pod coil and also the 1.2 mesh coil. You get your user manual, warranty card, and all that other nonsense. Well, like I said, I'll use it for the week and let you guys know what I think. And if you already have this product, let us know in the comments what you guys think of it. And I will probably be giving it away because I don't use those things. And so that is it. Let us know if you have that device. And oh, look at that. God, look at that good-looking guy right there, man. God damn.
Chiseled.
He's chiseled. Don't let me flex. No, we don't want Nick down there flexing.
Nick's got the guns. Nick
got the
wants to
guns.
know when you want to buy tickets to the gun show.
Nick's got the cannons. All right, guys, we're going to jump into Tom so Tom can do what's cheesing him off real quick, and then we're going to end this show. Tom, let me play your bumper. It's been a while since I played that bumper, huh?
Hit it.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Alrighty then.
Okay.
That's some crazy stuff.
Love
Oh
it.
my God, he's got his glasses on. Woo.
Yeah.
No.
All right. I got a whopping 12 today, folks.
Jesus Christ!
Everybody
Well,
hold on to your britches.
You missed. Yeah.
I had to work 2 events, and I dealt with a lot of people, and I don't people well. Like, at all. All right, number 1, people moving 3 inches or stopping right in front of a side-by-side when you're driving it through a crowd. You're still in the fucking way. Move, or I will run you over. And I said that multiple times. Probably shouldn't have, because my boss looked at me funny once, but, whatever. All right, number 2. When I got back from the first event, my debit card information got hacked. So, debit card fraud. That was fun.
Yeah, that sucks.
I wished for explosive diarrhea and sneezing fits to the people that did it while they were stuck in traffic.
Was that number 3?
2.
Oh,
Number 3.
That was the consequence of number 2.
Yes. Number 3 is cranky and lazy coworkers. What I do is not that hard. I legit drive around and tell people, no, you can't be doing what you're doing. Knock it the fuck off. And they're too lazy to do that. Not that difficult. Number
You're
4.
stopping them from having fun, Tom. You're stopping them from having fun.
No, I'm stopping them from hurting their dumbasses, so I have to call EMS and do paperwork.
There you go.
Number 4 is packing for long trips because I always forget shit. Number 10 will be a prime example of things I forgot. I know, Stacy, you do not. Also, hi. Number 5 is sleeping on a slight hill. I didn't even notice it until I lay down and I started sliding. I was like, well, fuck. It's a long night. Number 6 is getting just your neck sunburned, like right back here.
That's the Okie tan.
Oh, that shit hurts.
That's why they call them rednecks, Tom.
I know. I'm a proud card-carrying member of the
There you
Redneck
go.
Society.
I'm a barred card.
All right. My glasses are bugging me. Get the fuck out of here. Stupid drunk folks with bad breath. Back the fuck up. My God. I don't know how many times I got drunk just from a contact.
Yeah, carry a little bottle of scope with you, peeps, if you're going to be drinking.
Because I would have thrown it in their face. Here,
Tic
you need
Tacs,
this.
Tic Tacs, motherfucker, Tic Tacs.
Burped up some bacon cheese fries is what they did.
I don't know what it smelled like. Straight up ass. It was horrible.
God damn.
All right, number 8, leaky tents.
What?
Leaky tents.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said leaky something else. I was like,
No.
dude, that's wrong
Don't
show,
worry.
man.
No, that's just tents.
Don't worry about your bladder problems later. Anyway.
All right. Number 9 kind of ties in with number 8, wet socks. Because then your feet are wet and you're just fucking miserable all day. And when you don't people well and you're dealing with stupid drunk people, you really should people a little wet, shouldn't be cranky.
All right, hold on, though.
I agree with this one.
Yes.
I agree with
No,
this one. hate
I
West Sox.
don't. I don't because I worked outside for many, many years, and the first thing I learned, the first week I learned, is John, don't cheap out on fucking boots. And from that day on, I've never had wet fucking feet or socks. Period. Never cheap out on boots. Period. Remember that.
I've got good boots. It's just when my feet got wet, I was wearing my tennis shoes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. That sucks, too.
Yeah. All right. Number 10 ties in with forgetting shit and packing for long trips. Forgetting a sleeping bag.
Ooh,
Oh,
I've done it.
dagger. That's
I've
a
done it.
dagger.
I have 3 of them. You think I would have packed one? No, my dumbass forgot one.
Hell
Did you have
yeah.
to run out in the
sleeping
woods
bag's
and cut
overrated.
down palm fronds and make a sleeping bag?
No, I went to the
Right.
Walmart that was like 15 minutes down the road and bought a new one.
Okay.
There you go, 4.
Sleeping bag's overrated. Just a blanket or your hoodie, you're good to go.
That's
Pass
what I
out.
thought too. And
If
then
you
it
live in
was
Cali, if you live in
Yeah.
California or Florida,
it was like 54 degrees some nights, and I was
okay.
freezing up. Yeah, no.
Then I hear you.
All right, whiny old people.
Hey,
So
hey.
Monday night or Monday
hey,
Wait a
morning.
minute. Wait a
Now,
minute.
no, not you guys. Like older.
This is a Tim and John thing. I get it. Yeah, okay, keep going.
Well, all right. So Monday morning, I was finishing up work, doing traffic control, and this lady just starts ripping me a new one. I've been stuck in this line for an hour and 10 minutes. I go to NASCAR races, baseball games, etc. Just listen to all this other shit. And traffic's never like this. What I wanted to say, which was repeating in the back of my mind, was, good, lady, keep fucking going to the places. Don't come here,
Yeah.
you dumb Karen.
do you feel that you don't get that respect as a security person when you're trying to direct traffic? Because that's what I've noticed. I mean, if it's a cop there, yeah. But security people, like, they just like, they just want to run you over.
Oh, yeah.
Cops get run over too.
Oh, yeah.
There's no
We all do.
different.
It's fun.
So, Tom,
Yes.
what do you do and where were you?
I will get to that in a second because number 12 is traffic control. I fucking hated that shit. Oh my god, I wanted to hit people. All right, I was at a off-road race at first, and that was only for 4 days. And then I came home for 4 days, repacked everything, and then I was gone for a week to a country music festival.
So, contract security?
Yes, event security.
Got it.
And I had people come up to me, hey, can I vape here or here? And I'm like, yeah.
Hell no.
Tom,
That
how's
shit'll
your-
kill you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, fuck Karen. That cunt.
Yeah. Tom's
So,
not
Tom,
a Chatter Karen fan.
No.
Tom, I get you. I actually, when I used to drive for a company before, I would sit and watch the people who would direct traffic, and they would get annoyed to the point that they wanted to punch cars too, because they would not follow in directions. They would just do whatever they want to do, and it just made their life hell.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I'm totally with you.
Well,
I get all of it. I got it all. 100%.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it
I
was.
feel your pain.
I'm glad it's over, and my next event will be another race down at Road America, which y'all feel free to look that up.
Are you coming to Bristol?
No.
Oh.
Road America is a road course here in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They race for cheese curls.
No, they race for money.
Oh, money
Bacon
and
bacon wrap
Curds. They're curds, not
Yeah.
curls.
Yeah.
turd. I said
Curls are the
turds.
crunchy things.
Turds.
Damn it,
Cheese
John.
turd.
No, you said curls, John.
Did I?
He said
Curls
curls.
are the little
meant-
crunchy things.
I meant
Yeah.
turds. I meant turds and bag of milk.
Hey,
They
don't
race
touch
for
my
bags
bag
of
of
Those
milk.
things are good, man. I went to Wisconsin. I went to Milwaukee. Those
Nice.
damn curd things are good, bro.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I know. Stacy would race for them.
10-4.
Was that all of them,
Yep,
Tom?
that's all 12.
That's 12.
Let me give you
done.
your little thingy here, man. Oh, bueno, Tommy, bueno.
I feel
I was
much better
getting
now.
tired.
We always got to end the show on a happy note with Tom there. So Tom takes all that frustration and anger that we have for our government and our officials, and gives us a chance to relax and listen to Tom's anguish.
The soothing sounds of what cheeses Tom off.
What cheeses Tom off? And he's had 2 weeks because he missed last week, so he had 12. 12's a lot.
For me, yeah.
Yeah, we want to thank that guy down there, man, for always coming on last minute. I
Love
always
you,
hit him
Nick.
up last
Thanks for
minute.
being here,
bud. Yeah. You got to do that one up in the sky. What's his name that does the kisses and then he does that thing up in the sky? Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, is it Jeter or is it A-Rod? I'm thinking that does that.
I think it's A-Rod.
Yeah, it is A-Rod.
No.
He used to.
Sammy might have done it too.
Oh, Sammy Sosa did it too.
Sosa,
Sammy. Yeah, Sammy. Sammy and Barry Bonds doing their. Never mind. Let's not get into that.
Whatever.
Thank you, everyone,
different
for
show.
different show. That's on Mondays. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to the crew. Awesome crew, always doing a great job. Thank you, Nick, for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Like I said before, this show is about you guys, the community, and what we can do to help you guys be better informed in what's going on. And hopefully you guys use that knowledge. Like I said, we always stress it. Join KASA, open the emails, read them, pay attention to what's going on, and do something about it. Don't say, I hate that. I hate saying it. Sorry, Daniel. I'll just DIY my shit. Those days are gone, right? Those days are gone. All right, guys, any last-minute things? Tim?
I'm good. I just want to
Good.
say thanks to everybody in the chat. As always, love you guys. Thanks for coming back week after week. You're awesome. All of you. A lot of you.
All of you.
I would like to add in, Nick, I do actually talk.
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I see that. I see that, Tom. I like that.
We actually hired a ventriloquist to talk for Tom.
Yeah,
So
I am
he just
gonna-
moves Tom's mouth and
Yeah.
he's off screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the replay and count his words today because he was chippy today. Tom was chippy today.
I'm happy to be home.
That's it. Brian?
Just thanks everyone coming on. I appreciate Tom talking and taking the time to say hi and talking about his bad days. I appreciate you working for us to show us the bad times. That's awesome.
It's like a special thing when Tom talks. It's like we could do a whole show just on Tom talk.
We should just have like 1 2-hour segment of like just Tom rants. That'd be great. Thanks, Nick, for coming on. I appreciate it. I love talking to you and hearing your voice and having great conversations. Yeah, I appreciate you doing what you're doing.
Man, you guys are too
Thanks.
kind. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we
Appreciate
love
you,
having you
Brian.
on. Nick,
And
I'm
these
gonna put
guys
you
too.
on this. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Nick. Some words of wisdoms for our viewers out there. Hit them.
Shit, dude. You did something.
Brush your teeth.
No, not those.
Comb
But,
your hair.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Comb your hair from the guy that doesn't have any hair. He's telling comb your hair.
I meant Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comb that hair.
We talked a lot about advocacy, and that's obviously a hot button with me. And I would say, you guys hit it perfectly. Don't give up. These small battles will pop up. They're going to pop up in every state. They're going to pop up in every city, every county, every municipality. We got to get out in front of it and wipe your ass. I like that, Stacy. Wipe your ass too. And for those of you that don't know, wipe your ass.
Yeah.
And but get out, get in front of it, because once it's all over and you start losing shit, then you're going to stomp your feet, and that's not going to be cool.
Yeah.
We went through that in 16. Let's not go through it again. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Hell
Let's get
no.
out in
We
front of
won't
it.
go.
Get out, get active, and don't give up. If you get tired, take a seat, back seat, disconnect for a little bit, get back involved, jump on this show. These guys are always informative. You'll catch up. You're not going to miss a whole lot.
Yeah.
And wipe your ass.
Yeah. And the
Well
proper
said.
way is front to back.
God.
Back
Has to be front
Not
to
a-
back, especially for ladies.
We do different
Ladies,
kinds of
front to
tutorials
back.
here.
Oh man, that's good. All right, guys. Hey, thank you everyone out there in chat. We'll see everybody next week, same time, same channel, same place. Thank you.